2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
With NJ Diet, you can lose 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days. They have customers that have lost 37 pounds, 100 pounds, and over 120 pounds, and they've kept it off. You'll have more energy, and you'll probably see better lab results. NJ Diet uses your hair, saliva, and blood work to provide you personalized natural formulas and supplements so you can lose the weight, and DNA testing will help you keep it off. Lose 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days, contractually guaranteed. Go to njdiet.com.
Wow, honey, have you seen the electric bill?
Yeah, it's out of control. But have you heard of Navien tankless water heaters?
Tankless? How does that even work?
Well, instead of constantly heating and storing water, it only heats water when we need it. So much more efficient than our giant tank heater.
That sounds great. Let's look into Navien.
Already on it.
Imagine all the hot water you need only when you need it. Bulky tanks are history. Navien high-efficiency tankless is the future. Compact, wall-hung units free up floor space, lower energy bills, longer life than tanks, and a 15-year warranty. Find out more at tanklessmadesimple.com.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement, and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, good Monday, everyone. The start of a big week here. It is Dom time. Back from New York yesterday, the annual trip with Ro. Just one observation. We saved a lot. She wanted to go to Trenton. Have you done that before? And take the local into New York, and then we retraced our set. What is it with the Jersey local trains? They run on the same tracks as Amtrak, that their windows are beyond filthy. They don't want you to see out. Is it a government secret program? I'll develop that a little bit more throughout the show. But Kamala Harris, I want to play this ad. This will be cut 5, Dan. Look, her campaign is aggressive. They're riding high. Irrational enthusiasm. They're going nuts because of the media, because she's not answering anything. Trying to say she's the one that's tough on the border. Now, I know you can say, boy, hey, in politics, shamelessly just going out there and saying, that's right, buddy, I'm the one that's tough on the border, not you. That's a good play, but ultimately, is it? Because she also couches that, and we'll play you the ad, with saying that people that are here illegally should have earned citizenship. Now, you know my stance on capital punishment. I cannot imagine anywhere, anytime, any place, if Dan booked the Pope and he's in here speaking in 4 languages and says, that's a mortal sin. Yeah. Sign me up. I'm on capital punishment. I'm also never, ever going to be for legal citizenship for those that came here illegally. There's no justification. In fact, Tim Walz has said what a debt of gratitude we owe to illegal immigrants. Really, Timmy? How's that reasoning again? What about the people that are doing it the right way? What about the fact it's a criminal act? Why should you be rewarded with citizenship? That's what Kamala Harris is doing. She's saying that to her mobs. And she's also saying, hey, I was a prosecutor. Trump wasn't. I went after these drug cartels, et cetera. Now, some of this space was provided to old Kamala by those Republican dopes like Langford. Oh, we got to get a comprehensive solution to the border. No, we don't. The comprehensive solution is we're going to keep you out. And I'll play you J.D. Vance telling Dana Bash yesterday, and she looked, oh, my God. And we're going to throw you out. Well, I didn't know where that piano key came from. Here's Kamala Harris, and let's talk about this. I'm looking for someone that says, oh, come on now, both strategically and as the right thing. What would be the criteria that you get earned citizenship? All right, here's the Harris ad.
Kamala Harris has spent decades fighting violent crime.
Oh, yeah.
As a border state prosecutor, she took on drug cartels and jailed gang members for smuggling weapons and drugs across the border. As vice president, she backed the toughest border control bill in decades. And as president, she will hire thousands more border agents and crack down on fentanyl and human trafficking. Fixing the border is tough. So is Kamala Harris.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Now, no mention there of earned citizenship, but that's what she says to the mobs that come to her event. And, of course, that's comprehensive reform. Earned citizenship. That's joy. That's not like Dom Giordano horrifically scaring you.
Yeah.
By the way, mentioning scary, who has this right? How come, well, you have something, Dan, go ahead.
Yeah, it's I do have the earned citizenship comment.
Oh, let's hear it. Nice play.
So I was Attorney General of a border state. I went after the transnational gangs, the drug cartels, and human traffickers.
She's hard on the crime,
huh? Them in case after case, and I won.
Oh, yeah, look at
So I know what
California.
I'm talking about. We know our immigration system is broken,
No,
and
it's
we
not.
know what it takes to fix it. Comprehensive reform that includes strong border security and an earned pathway to citizenship.
Yeah, there you go. Just she says it in a convincing voice, like who wouldn't? Let's debate it, buddy. Let's do that. Here's a case in point. Philadelphia Inquirer mocking people out in Delaware County because there have been big ripples. I have a couple friends there, Bill Lawrence and others, documenting this around illegal immigration. So there's this creek, Rolling Green Park, and they say rumors ricocheted across social media and in public meetings that undocumented immigrants were swimming naked in Rolling Green Park. Not so. Here again, big problems on this, et cetera. Why are people in Delaware County concerned about illegal immigration? Because they're seeing it in their daily lives.
I felt guilty. I was fully clothed.
There's that, too. All right. Swimming naked in front of Secret Service agents. By the way, Dan, in the middle...
Give me a break.
In the middle of
Gosh
his
almighty.
Saturday retreat, which I try not to. I mean, the only time he called me, I think, was when Trump was shot that time. We were in Gettysburg. We didn't know what was going on. Stan on the phone. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Have we been... Are we doing a national show? Something's happened here. What's
is this
going
your
on?
ringtone?
Yeah. Yes. Bro, you sure that's Dan there? Anyhow, you saw this, and it is outrageous, and we're trying to get the woman on. This beauty power in the Berkshires in Massachusetts, they had to go through Secret Service scrutiny because Kamala Harris was going to have a rally nearby, and they were fine to do all that. But then apparently the day of the rally, her guests, the VIPs, Dan, as far as I can tell, are dignitaries, needed to use bathrooms and spruce up.
Yeah.
They had the Secret Service women, it appears, put tape over the security cameras,
Yep.
pick the locks, and then leave the building unlocked. Yeah, Secret Service.
Yep.
Why are we locking it? We don't know how to lock it after we pick the lock, and they left the tape up. Imagine putting your life in the hand of these morons, and they do have morons in there, there's no doubt, right? But the arrogance, if they did that for Trump, there would be a 10-page series in the Philadelphia Inquirer. But for Harris, well, they needed to go to the bathroom.
You know how dumb these people are, too? Like, so you got a salon owners out there saying this.
Right.
This is what the salon owner
Right.
says. But there's video of it, and you see the Secret Service agent, face and all, look right at the camera, then go out, then come back to the camera with her face in the camera, then tape over it.
Yeah,
so it's
she puts
clearly
her face in there. Yeah.
Yes, and then they don't think to check for cameras inside because the cameras
Right.
inside are all non-taped, and you can clearly see what's going on from the inside cameras. So... not very smart to think, I'm going to tape the outside camera after I show my face and then not check for inside cameras.
The perfect blend of arrogance and
They're good
incompetency. This is a criminal act. They ought to be prosecuted for breaking and entering. They have no right to go into, you guys are always playing small ball. No, this is the type of the hubris, the attitude. They're with Kamala Harris. She can do anything she wants. Earned citizenship. Yeah, but we'll talk more about that. I agree with Dan. I'd love to get this person on and to hear. And apparently she talked with the Secret Service Boston office, and they apologized for it. Now, we need to investigate this. We need to investigate what the hell they're doing because it gets right to the core of how rotten this organization has become. They have become. I can't vouch for them. Well, Dom, look at how they ran up there. They put their life on the line. Are you doing that? That is heroic. I agree. But that's part of the job. That's what they sign up for. They sign up to be competent, too. And they sign up not to trample on the rights of American citizens for an entitled woman and her crew. All right, 855-839-1210. Now, that's the ad. Here's what J.D. Vance yesterday. Look, I've been critical of J.D. Vance when necessary. Vance on 3 Sunday shows yesterday with Dana Bash.
Busy day.
You know, oh, no, this is with John Carl, who's a tougher interviewer. And Carl saying, this is what they always say. Well, you can't really remove 20 million people. Now, look, I'm crazy enough to say, watch us. But I think J.D. Vance took a perfect stance. It was aggressive, doable, and in your face. Here's what he said to John Carl saying, you can't remove all these people that are here illegally.
Well, John, we have to start with the fact that we have a wide open southern border because our border czar actually set a lot of open border policies. They suspended.
She's not actually. She wasn't the border czar.
Oh,
there we
go. What the media called
what
her.
A lie,
she assumed
John.
the title. She had control over a lot of our border policy at a time when they were suspending. Let me finish, John. The time they were suspending deportations, they stopped Donald Trump's Remain in Mexico policy, and they reinstituted catch and release. They basically threw open the gates of our country, and now we have a ton of fentanyl, a ton of people suffering.
But how are you going to get 10 to 15 to 20 million people
Well,
out
the
of
first
the
thing you have to do is to stop the bleeding, stop the open border, get Kamala Harris out of there, and actually re-implement the Remain in Mexico policy, rebuild or finish Donald Trump's border wall, and you do that and you stop the bleeding. Now, you're right. Once you do that, once you stop Kamala Harris's open border policies, you've got to do something with the people who are already here. And I think that you take a sequential approach to it. You are going to have to deport some people. If you're not willing to deport a lot of people, you're not willing to have a border when there are 20 million illegal aliens in our country.
10 to 15 million people, this is like, I mean...
Well, John, I think it's the wrong attitude to take of it. Okay,
so if you go knock on doors and ask people for their papers,
again, but
what do you do?
let me. I think this is the wrong attitude towards it, right? There's 20 million people here illegally. You start with what's achievable. You do that. And then you go on to what's achievable from there. I think that if you deport a lot of violent criminals, and frankly, if you make it harder to hire illegal labor, which undercuts the wages of American workers, I think you go a lot of the way to solving the illegal immigration problem. But look, President Trump is absolutely right. You cannot have a border unless you're willing to deport some people. I think it's interesting that people focus on, well, how do you deport 18 million people? Let's start with 1 million. That's where Kamala Harris has failed, and then we can go from there.
Bingo.
I hope this guy can keep a focus like that. You know, that's what I would do with a candidate. It's like a golfer or a quarterback. Show them the tape of exactly what they were doing when it was almost flawless. Just show J.D. Vance that, and it didn't seem prepared. It seemed to be natural. He had thought it through, but it wasn't word by word. He ended up where he wanted to go. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. I don't know if I would have even said 1 million. It's a nice round number. Could have even said 100,000. How about if we start with that, John? How about 1,000? What's the number? What can we do here? Oh, what are you going to be doing? Knocking on doors? Knocking on doors? No, we're going to empty the prisons of them and get them out of here. 855-839-1210. Now, Trump can pursue the same thing.
Get him out. Get him out of here.
He's got to get better focus on this. And that it's eminently doable. Coming up, how do you counter Harris on that she wants to cut taxes or get rid of taxes on tipping now?
Where'd she get that idea?
Yeah, well, just show a little video of the 87,000 IRS agents that she was proud to put into play. Might be the way to deal with that. And our buddy Walls over the weekend, now there's footage saying that he was in Afghanistan, that he's talking about that. He wasn't in Afghanistan. Huh. That's a guy who cannot withstand the interviews because Harris will pull the woman race card somehow or another in the interview. What I think the Harris people are doing now, Dan, I think they're going back and forth, trying to run this out to as close to Labor Day as they can because they'll do an interview over Labor Day when people are not paying attention. And two, they're trying to figure out who is it that will be in the tank the most? Who has a right vibe in the tank? I still say I'm going with Howard Stern. I think you can count on him. Dan, he would be just beyond. He might come in on a Thursday if she has to tape it then.
You know it's going to be. Stephen Colbert.
Yeah, Colbert would be very good.
It's going to be evening nighttime show, one of those. Jimmy Kimmel.
No, he's too dumb. I think your Colbert was right on the money. Yeah, I think the Colbert or Rachel Maddow.
It seems like Kamala's team loves the late nights.
Yeah, Colbert would be good. But I think I'd go with Stern. You don't think Stern would be in the tank? Is there any shot he would change?
So this is where I stand. I think Stern is well known for doing long-form interviews. And I'm not talking like 20 minutes. He does like full hour and a half interviews. I don't think Waltz Harris can stand up to that crap, man. Like they're so shallow that I don't think they have enough depth that's interesting for Stern's audience that he'd even want to do it. So I think they got to limit it to that 8-minute, Stephen Colbert kind of segment.
He wants to be a serious man, though. Interviewing Waltz. Can you imagine if he sunk to the level of throwing softballs to Waltz?
Yeah.
By the way, over the weekend, the big story is that Waltz loves foods. And people are loving it.
Waltz loves food?
Yeah, he's a fat guy, in other words.
He likes food.
Cinnamons, tater tot casserole, cinnamon rolls, stuff like that. Well, wait a minute. What happened to America? We're too heavy. We have problems. Ozempic.
Newsflash, fat guy likes grease.
Yeah. Put that out there as a summary. Like you have my permission.
Wow, great headline,
for
guys.
Those headlines you have to write at the end. Fat guy loves grease and sugar, maybe. All right. Anybody ride the New Jersey Transit to New York, though? They were at the train.
Yeah.
And what the heck is up with the dirty windows? I mean, I may have to call the governor's office and ask what the heck's happening.
You're complaining. How was the inside?
It was okay. Well,
it
was okay. And coming back was fine because it was more of an express. Yeah, so it was fun.
Where'd you go?
We saw a play, Hell's Kitchen.
Go up to New York?
Yeah, and we did
on NJ Transit?
Yes.
Did you do like transfers?
No, there was no transfer.
Okay,
it was direct.
Just
go to Hamilton train station.
Okay.
Yeah. And the play was good, but we never got to the Subway Museum. I know you think we're wacky, but
sandwiches?
No, the Subway Museum is a museum that shows you all the origin of New York and all that. We have tickets to it. We were way too late.
Really?
Yeah.
How are you late to a museum?
Well, I'm not going to say Rose walking wasn't up to par, but I had one highlight.
Wait, did you actually walk over to the museum and you went and the doors were closed?
You have to be on the spot, though. Now, we want to get out of Dodge. Rose's foot from the heels, slight heel. Wasn't enough of a heel.
Well, first off, that's a sin to wear heels when you're going to New York City.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
Or bring, a change of shoes. Come on, man.
I wouldn't do it either, but I'm a fan of the heels, so I appreciate
Love you to death,
effort.
Ro. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it showed us Google Maps. We were 3 miles away from the train station. Getting kind of late, Rose foot from the heel a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to break down and get a cab. Dan, I want you to hear you now. Picture
Hold
this.
on. Hold on.
Yeah.
If your wife's wearing heels to the city, I think that the implication is the wife's kind of saying, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, we're going to get a taxi no matter where we go, right?
Well, these are small.
So you had the poor lady walk?
These are small heels. Rose should text you a photo of it. We'll put it up, and then we'll let the
Hold on, let's
judges
one of our
decide.
listeners, Dom.
Dom, you're a classy guy.
Yeah. So anyhow, Dan, I waited because I didn't want them getting tied up around Times Square, so I wanted to avoid that. We walked down 57th, and I just happened to see a cab. I want you to hear you hail a cab, Dan. How would you do it?
Yeah.
No, it's taxi! And, Dan, 3 guys.
I don't think there's Uber now, though.
No, but Ro thought that was very masculine.
Yeah.
How I got the cab.
Did you go out to the bike lane and stand out there? And
I was in the street. 3 guys stopped the cab going like this and pointing back to me, and we all were in together. Now, that's pretty good. They all stopped the cab.
I like the community effort.
That was a high
this
moment.
guy needs a cab.
Yeah, I don't know about Uber in New York. Uber in New York gets...
It's like a guy with a pregnant wife. They're all just going to...
I think Uber in New York is more trouble than it's worth because the cabs
You
are
think so?
constant. Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably right.
The Uber in New York's got to get through. I mean, the traffic...
Because you got to wait, and yeah, you're 100% right.
Who in the world thinks they're going down, was it 8th Avenue toward... Or was it 9th? I think it was 8th. Toward Times Square, Dan.
Mm-hmm.
And you're getting through on a Sunday night with, I don't know, some big festival was going on.
Oh, yeah, it sounds miserable. Yeah.
Yeah, they're probably still sitting there. All right. So
did you get the cab?
Yes, the guy
Okay,
stopped
good.
right away. I
Good.
told you these other 2 guys stopped. They were impressed. They were going like this with that cab style.
Yeah.
He must have thought I was from out of town or something, and he thought it worked. No, Roe was.
How was the play?
Very good.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's
it's the life of Gordon Ramsay, right?
Alicia Keys.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Gordon Ramsay. No, that's Hell's Kitchen of a different. Yeah. It's a little bit different. All right, let me give you the side question. I happened to see this morning that the sidekick of Tony Moreno in Scarface passed away at the age of 83. And I don't think we've ever done mob films or thugs in films or criminals. So there's a wide berth today. Give us that all-time scene involving a criminal, a mob figure. Mob figure is where a lot of them are in my mind. Or just a thug. What's that all-time scene? I have two of them, Dan, and one you just triggered by, we were talking about Goodfellas a while ago. It's personal. No one would call in with this. Sonny in Goodfellas, when the Hells Angels comes into his neighborhood bar, he says you can get a drink. They, of course, fire the beer at everybody in there, shuts the door and says, now you can't leave. Oh, God.
I need to get Jim's mic going because there's going to be a lot of impressions.
Yeah. That and the way Sonny is shot. I got to credit Rich on that one, saying if Sonny had Easy Pass, it wouldn't have happened to him on the causeway when he's waiting to pay his toll.
So we're doing memorable scenes that involve thugs, outlaws, criminals, mobsters, anything like that?
In honor of Scarface, yeah.
There's some great ones that debuted over on HBO with The Sopranos and The Wire.
Yeah.
But the one that really, I don't know why it stands out to me, maybe because it's just, it really brings the reality of what the situation's like with these, drug gangs shooting back and forth. There's a scene in The Wire where it's the two females and they're staking out a place and there's a shootout in the street and then a stray bullet hits a kid. And it's just, I don't know why that's so memorable to me.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Because they all run to get into the bathtub, and the kid doesn't make it in time.
Yeah, and it's just so sad to see, and there's situations like that play out here in Philadelphia, and
exactly.
And I think Sopranos, Dom, a lot of great scenes from there, but I think it's the boat scene.
Okay.
It stands out to me.
All right, so boy, there's got to be 100,000 of them. Hit us with your best, and if you ride Jersey Transit, the train. What's up with the dirty windows? I mean, come on, Jersey, we know you have a progressive rule there. What's with the dirty windows? Is it an undercover train? 855-839-1210. You jump on
Hey, did
board.
we take the end scene of Scarface off?
Well, of course, yeah. Well,
okay,
we
it's just like the genesis of the question. I just want to make sure it's off.
Yeah, by implication, because that's the premise of it today.
I think it's like one of the greatest.
Yeah,
crime scenes of
the
all time.
actor was very good, and Pacino, that's one of the few... Yeah, one of the few good roles in the last few years. Well, 20 years, I guess. 855-839-1210.
Talk Radio 1210's Huge Politics and Pints with Donald Trump Jr. is moving to Thursday, September 12th. Join Dom Giordano as he talks to Donald Trump Jr. about all things Trump. Just 2 days after the planned presidential debate. The new date, Thursday, September 12th at Scottish Rite Auditorium in Collingswood. Your tickets include a copy of Letters to Trump by former President Trump. A cash bar will be available. Get your tickets now at 1210WPHT.com. That's 1210WPHT.com.
For more expert appliance shopping advice, here's National Appliance Warehouse's own appliance guru.
Hello, let's talk premium. These are top-of-the-line appliances that dream kitchens are made of. If you're planning an investment like this in your home, where you buy is as important as what you buy. At National Appliance Warehouse, we're committed to delivering the superior buying experience you deserve. Our showroom features beautifully displayed premium appliances of every major brand, including highly sought-after Sub-Zero, Wolf, and Cove. Our team of gurus is well-versed at guiding you as you navigate the same appliances you'd find in the most magnificent homes and kitchens of cooking enthusiasts. And the National Appliance Warehouse team has the expertise to properly deliver and install your stunning new appliances.
Don't miss the Friends and Family Savings event at National Appliance Warehouse. Purchase a qualifying Sub-Zero Wolf and Cove appliance package and choose 3 years of additional warranty or a rebate up to $2,500. Click nationalappliancewarehouse.com or visit their showroom in tax-free Wilmington today.
Pennsylvania's statewide tobacco-free recovery initiative supports your local radio station and reminds those in substance use disorder recovery that learning tobacco-free coping skills improves the chances of long-term recovery by 25%, and that more than 70% of Pennsylvanians in recovery believe these skills are helpful to both recovery and mental health. To learn more, visit tobaccofreerecoverypa.com or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. Sponsored by the Philadelphia Department of Public Health.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
We have a man who's a warrior, a great military person. Dave McCormick is a 7th-generation Pennsylvanian who grew up in Bloomsburg, went to West Point, and earned a Bronze Star for his service in the First Gulf War. Dave went on to an outstanding career in business, and now he's fighting for the people of this Commonwealth, and he loves this Commonwealth.
Conservative Dave McCormick.
We need new leadership. We need a new president in the White House that's going to get our country back on track. We need a new majority in the Senate that's going to be able to take our country in the right direction.
Dave will vote to secure your borders, stand up to China, unleash incredible amounts of Pennsylvania energy, and he wants to stop Bidenflation. David McCormick, you have my total support and my total endorsement, and you got to win. Dave McCormick.
I'm Dave McCormick, and I approve this message.
Paid for by friends of Dave McCormick. www.davemccormickpa.com.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 1039 FM.
Cradles to Crayons will be giving out thousands of book bags around the city this school year for families in need. The largest USA Girls Flag Football Tournament held its 4th annual event in Conshohocken this weekend. 2 teens were arrested over the weekend for crashing into a police car while at a large car meetup in the Northeast.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
Somewhere beyond the sea, somewhere waiting for me.
Is that from Goodfellas?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You know the scene in Goodfellas, Dan. Any male watching it thinks of their woman. Is Henry Hill coming in with the woman he marries ultimately, the back door to the Copa. The music, the swell of it, the whole thing. He's sitting there. He's only 21. I don't know how they get away with saying he's 21.
I mean, is Henry here to narrate?
Henry, yes.
Oh, no.
Henry Hill.
No.
Henry Hill. Come on, you were on the Dom
Hold on, we got to
show.
summon him from the grave.
See, the problem is right now is we went to the Copa. It was great. You didn't have to wait in line. You didn't have to do anything. You just snuck in the back, and everything belonged to Paul. It was incredible. Friday nights at the Copa were for the wives, and Saturday was for the girlfriend.
Bang, bang, bang. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, Henry Hill. Honored spot on the Dom Giordano show.
By the way, my scene is the scene in Scarface where Tony finds out and goes to Robert Loggia's office. Not only does he kill him, he kills the cop. All you hear is this intense music going on, like the next guy's going to get killed. And then Tony says, "Hey, you want a job, Barney?" Okay, man, you call me tomorrow, man.
Oh, God. Yeah, there's a film on Kamala Harris.
Tony Montana, too.
Yeah, Kamala Harris
Tony
will be watching
Montana,
that.
man.
I'm sure Tony Moreno would get earned citizenship in a Harris administration.
I want my right, just like Jimmy Carter said, man. Let me tell you, man. It's great, man. Let me tell you.
Yeah, I don't think Pacino got zinged, Dan, for a little bit of a stereotypical over-the-top.
Just a wee bit.
Just a little bit. All right, so we got that going on. Talking about Harris, though, the boldness of the ads and the media, of course, in the tank, I'm the one that's tough on the border. Now, we said then that Langford and these other idiots on the Republican side, you can't deflect for a few more months after the damage Biden has done. You got to actually get into intense negotiations, and this is the toughest border bill ever. I'll tell you two things about it. One, they're not going to fulfill it. They'll half-heartedly to try to show some number until the election. Then after that, they'll go right back to doing what they're doing. And two, we do want the issue. We put up with it this long. We can put up with it for another 85 days until the pain of Americans, the nonsense that's going on here, until we reap the benefit of it. It's just that simple. Because this election is being billed now, the Harris side, as joyful. The Walls guy, he loves to eat. Newsflash, he's got a camo hat. We're trying to get his chaplain on from the National Guard. He went after this guy. Commanding officer went after him. All kinds of people still going after him. But the bottom line is Americans are in pain. Americans are also incredibly anxious and angered by illegal immigration. Did that suddenly go away? No, it did not. So this idea suddenly of this false joy, what are they joyful about? Well, it seems to be that they will have a female, African-American, Asian. It's an identity high or joy. We're not talking about these darkened politics anymore. Well, good. Just tell us what you're going to do about inflation and the border. Now, she started in on the border. She hasn't told us what she's going to do other than comprehensive border, the same thing we always hear. Point of pride. We have stopped them every time they say, even with the Republican dunces there. It's the Catholic Church, it's the left, it's the Republican dunces, the rhinos, the Wall Street Journal, and yet they haven't been able to beat us. They've flooded the country, but they haven't been able to make it more mainstream. And going around saying earned citizenship. Let's see if that plays. That's what Trump ought to be. Just calmly take this apart and say, look, I'm not going to talk anymore about this. I made my point about identity politics and all that. Let's just take a lot of time talking about what she's proposing here and what I did and how effective it was. That's all that you have to do. And what she's proposing is citizenship. Now, does that fly with the average American? I don't think so. I think you have a lot of people that are persuadable that are not going to go down that path. That's what you have to link her to. As far as the tipping, what you have to go back to, this is the administration. She was the tie-breaking vote for the big Biden bill that unleashed 87,000 IRS agents. And you can find enough people out there are tons of them looking for a platform who talk about what it was like once Biden and Harris unleashed this on people that are just trying to make an income, trying to deal with the prices that are out there. And suddenly the IRS is sigging them on their yearly tipping and everything associated with it. That's what they were going after. That's what they were engaged in. That's what she's about. I know it takes your breath away that suddenly in Vegas, she's talking about, let's not have a tax on tips.
Yeah.
Mike Opelka on his daily sheet that we get, Dan, has Trump writing assiduously answers, a student, and it's labeled Trump. And the other side, it says Harris, and the person's up out of their seat looking over to make sure
Here's the audio
they copy the answers. Yeah.
Audio equivalent of that, right?
Yeah.
Because when I get to office, we are going to not charge taxes on tips, people making tips.
Eliminate taxes on tips for service and hospitality workers.
I know you it's about winning. It's not about getting enraged. By the way, I turned tail, Dan. I was rooting for the Americans at the end of the game in Olympic basketball. And as much as Steph Curry has a lot that bothers me politically, what he did at the end of that game the other day, if I were coaching the other team, and I told Luke this, I don't care. You can have LeBron James, Durant, anybody you want that he's passing the ball to. I'm willing to give them a 10-foot open shot. He's not going to shoot threes, even with three guys on him. That's not happening. The third three that he made was beyond belief.
Yeah.
Now, I wasn't rooting for the American women, though, and they won by 1 point. No, I couldn't.
No,
I just could not.
You got to root for the country.
That's a real hard one. They didn't have Caitlin Clark. They didn't have Angel Reese. I mean, they're not going to let France come within a point. You put the two of them in, I don't think.
That little 5'9" girl was.
Yeah, they're pretty good. And the French men, come on.
Yeah.
Take them inside, muscle them up. That's it. All right, 855-839-1210.
Do you think Wembanyama has any muscle to muscle up?
Yeah, it's pretty hard to muscle him up. Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's big.
Big, but skinny as all.
Yeah, right. They should have been able to take them apart, too.
Gobert doesn't have much muscle himself either.
But if we do goats, I was thinking about that. Steph Curry is the greatest shooter of all time. In an active sense, in an actual game.
Think so?
Yeah.
Better than Ray Allen?
Yeah, in an actual game. He can shoot from farther. He's like Caitlin Clark.
Larry Bird?
Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly. Larry Bird's a better all-around in a lot of ways. Better player, but just as a pure shooter, it's devastating.
Reggie Miller?
Yes, because he can shoot from farther. He's shooting 35 feet away. I mean, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And a game he played on the French with that was beautiful to see. All right, phone lines, you get in are 855-839-1210. Take a couple of your calls coming up on the side question. Scarface, hit us all-time thug, criminal, mob, scene. Hit us with the scene. That's what we want, that you think really pops. And Harris unleashing on the policy front in kind of a difficult way to deal with, given the media. I see possibility there. All I hear when she speaks about the border is citizenship. That's what you have to pull out. That's what you have to go after. You have to say to the American people, do you want to give citizenship to people that broke into this country, that are here still illegally, reaping those benefits? Is that really what you want the President of the United States to be about? 855-839-1210. You jump in now.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
Mostly sunny. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all in the low to mid 80s with some sun and some clouds.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. For over 35 years, we've grown by offering our clients more offices, more lawyers, and recovering more than $20 billion. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. And one thing I've learned is that you buy a house, but you make it a home. Because with every fix, update, and renovation, it becomes a little more your own. So you need all your jobs done well. For nearly 30 years, Angie has helped millions of homeowners hire skilled pros for the projects that matter. From plumbing to electrical, roof repair to deck upgrades. So leave it to the pros who will get your jobs done well. Hire high-quality certified pros at Angie.com.
You're in hot water, mister.
What'd I do?
I told you months ago our utility bills were getting higher because of that old outdated tank water heater.
Maybe it's time we finally switch to a Navien tankless.
Learn about Navien's high-efficiency tankless water heaters, endless hot water, all while helping you save on your energy costs.
Hey, look at this. Our utility bill is lower since we got the Navien tankless water heater.
Who's in hot water now?
We are, all the time.
Learn more at tanklessmadesimple.com.
Tired of hearing scary ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. We may be able to significantly reduce and even eliminate what you owe to the IRS. Taxpayers should know. Huge savings are now being made available through the Fresh Start program that can drastically reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. Even if you haven't filed your taxes in years or are facing wage garnishment, liens, levies, or under audit, we can help. We've earned over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today. To see what savings you may qualify for, visit us online at TRA.com or call us at 800-511-0379. 800-511-0379. Again, that's 800-511-0379. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Chronic pain, cancer, fatigue. Find out about the benefits of medical hydration therapy on Health Watch with Dr. Molly Fantasia every Sunday morning at 8 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
Kamala Harris knows what she needs to do. I was there. I gave her all of the policies that she needed, all of them, and she refused to implement them. She does not care about you. She does not care about the safety of this country. He does. This is the man for the presidency.
All right, that's the acting border czar or border chief,
Border Patrol Council
Border
president.
Patrol Council president. Talking about Harris, put a little more detail on that. Give us the explicit. I said this, she ignored that. That kind of thing is the way to go. By the way, a new person we're bringing on today, president of the Chester County Chamber of Commerce. Inside story, if you saw it yesterday, Laura Mannion was on with me. And she is a millennial mom. And she made the point several times that even though you might still have some people, women in the suburbs, et cetera, who don't like some of the personality quirks of President Trump, this time around, policy is it. Watch this. If Kamala Harris comes to the Delaware Valley, particularly if it's in Montgomery County, where she could to rally the mob out there, Dan, watch for our buddy Sean Kilkenny. Remember that guy?
Yeah.
He's the head sheriff out there. He vouched how pro-law enforcement John Fetterman was. So what do you think he'll do with Harris? Oh, my God, the gushing, the prosecutor. And I wanted to talk about this. Today is the 10th anniversary of the Ferguson, Missouri. I couldn't believe when I saw it this morning of the shooting that triggered the formation of Black Lives Matter. Michael Brown died, and a movement was born 10 years ago today. Remember, Dan, I don't know if you were doing talk radio then, but hands up, don't shoot. They would all do that. Then they would lie down, counting the seconds in the street. Black Lives Matter was only a hashtag. After Ferguson, Missouri, it became a reality, an organization. Then with George Floyd's summer, it really took off. But it was 10 years ago today. It seems like only 5 to me that this happened. But I'm looking today, Fox is carrying the Ferguson police chief, who's African-American, and I think trying to deconstruct what actually happened there. And Officer Gates had to go into hiding. I don't think he's surfaced ever again. I don't think he could be hired as a cop. You can imagine all the difficulty. That was really one of the high points of this propaganda machine of the media and people running with it. There was an officer in Ferguson, Missouri, the chief talking about, who suffered a brain injury at a Michael Brown protest 10 years later. The only thing you can do with this stuff, you can't deconstruct it fully. You just have to beat them, put in the policies that continue to push back on this every single day. And the deficiency with Trump at this point is not the people around him, although I think Kellyanne Conway is coming back on board, and I think that's a good sign. It's patience in point-by-point deconstructing what Harris is all about. And I realize how she's played games with racial identity and identities of all sorts. There's enough here on policy patiently, like the border. And I told you one of the keys to it is that, yeah, she's talking, why, if I were advising Harris, why not just leave it at comprehensive immigration? Why say earned citizenship? She's overplaying her hand a bit. American people are not going to support citizenship for 20 million people that are here illegally. And I got to think that's a 60-40. And a lot of those are possible persuadables. I still think inflation, cost of living, grocery store, that's the issue. But all the data seems to indicate that illegal immigration is. This Delaware County story. People are worried about this. Not only worried, they're saying, no, we've had it with this. In what universe should we pay for health care for people here illegally? All the criminal possibilities of this. The overflow into schools. The stuff we're seeing when people are dropped off in states like New York, et cetera, that they can't handle it and they go wild. It's all there. So that is the issue. Focus in on earned citizenship. All right, let me go to John in Wildwood, New Jersey. John on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, John, welcome in.
Hey, Don. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, John.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's a Dark Horse movie called The Thief.
Okay.
With James Caan and Jim Belushi. And the line, there's two lines, but I'll abbreviate the language a little bit. But one of them is, if you want a car, come and see me. If not, get your greasy effing fingers off of my car. The movie?
I don't know.
Did you
that
say
movie.
it's Jim Belushi? I did not expect to have a Jim Belushi
yes,
reference.
Yes, a reference. I mean, all the biggies, yeah, but it's outside the box. It's called The Thief.
The Diamond Thieves.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't do home invasions. I only do diamonds.
James Caan, Willie Nelson. I'm going to check this one out.
Willie Nelson.
Yeah. It's a great James Caan movie.
All right.
It really is.
Thank you, John. I don't know The Thief. I will have to check it out, though. Yeah. All right. Coming up, a new book out. I mean, maybe it's not for everybody.
How does he lead it with Jim Belushi when you got James Caan in the movie?
A new book. I haven't read it yet, but I'm just reading a guy that I like talking about it that explains a little bit of what the magic is, for now, of the Harris campaign. All this laughing, all this joy, all this Tim Walz loves to eat. Look at that casserole on that guy. Oh, God. I think he's coming our way pretty soon, too. I would love, if it were on a weekend, I think I'd have to trail him to upstate Pennsylvania, Dan. I'd love to see him up there.
Yeah.
To see what it's really like with this guy and get enough sound of people saying, you buying this guy? Does this seem like a cabin guy to you? 855-839-1210. Get in with Dom and Dan. Let's talk FanDuel for a moment. Football is approaching. Time to get in on the action early this season. Your favorite NFL futures bets, tons of player props are all there. Passing yards, TDs, receiving totals. Also great team markets, like likely to make the playoff, win the division, Super Bowl matchups. You can parlay different picks for even bigger payouts. Now, Dan sometimes does a
925 parlay. Yeah.
I'm retiring. It's a gazillion parlay. Don't let you try it. And right now, new customers, you get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. That's all that it takes. No better place to get ready for football season than on FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, America's #1 sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Just visit FanDuel.com/Dom. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. You have to be 21 plus. Present in Pennsylvania. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.
Kale and Company weekday mornings 6 till 10.
I believe he used to go as the Greater Chris on Twitter. He's now calling himself the Bachelor Chris.
Bachelor Chris, yeah.
He says crowd size means nothing. Biden had 6 people in a circle at rallies. Trump drew tens of thousands, Biden drew hundreds. Candidates and debates mean nothing. And that's why I'm saying this is why you cannot leave any stone unturned. I know people aren't going to do it. I'm just wasting my oxygen here. This is why you cannot wait until November 5th to vote. If you don't take advantage of September 16th in that 6-week window, don't tweet me. That's it. Don't tweet me. I don't want to hear from you.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Am I going to be okay? It's the most important question you should ask yourself when approaching retirement. A financial advisor will probably answer that question by looking at just one thing: how much you've saved. At Spectrum Wealth Partners, we believe that's only half the story. The stock market will continue to go up and down, but at Spectrum Wealth, we can help you build guaranteed lifetime income that's not affected by any of it. Let's sit down together and help you answer the question, am I going to be okay? Call 856-322-8686 or online at spectrumwp.com. And tune into the Retirement Spectrum with Alan Cohen Saturdays at 3 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Advisory services offered through Concurrent Investment Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Concurrent Investment Advisors, LLC, and Spectrum Wealth Partners are not affiliated companies.
It's here, the summer heat, and it's getting hotter, and that heat's just pouring into your home. Need a solution? Trust PJ Fitzpatrick for the perfect new insulated and vented roof. They've earned thousands of 5-star reviews and back all new roofs with a lifetime guarantee on materials and labor. PJ Fitzpatrick, voted best of Philly, installs most roofs in just one day. Set up a free design consultation. Plus, they have special financing if you need it. Visit trustpj.com today. That's trustpj.com.
Philo's got a world of entertainment for you to explore with just one subscription. Sign up today and start watching all the networks you love, like A&E, MTV, Discovery, Lifetime, Hallmark Channel, and so much more. Featuring current seasons of all the best drama, true crime, reality, and family-friendly shows you can't afford to miss. And with up to 3 streams at once, you'll never have to fight about what to watch. Get started today and unlock our library of over 75,000 movies and shows, and save all your favorites with the unlimited DVR so you can rewatch them anytime, anywhere for up to a year. Philo now includes access to AMC Plus. You can discover your next obsession from its collection of hit originals like Mad Men, The Walking Dead, Killing Eve, Orphan Black, and tons of blockbuster movies. There are no contracts, no commitments, and no hassles. For just $28 a month, Philo's a better way to watch TV. So what are you waiting for? Visit philo.tv and sign up today to start your 7-day free trial. That's philo.tv.
Are you tired of that dated old kitchen or bathroom? Ready for a refresh? Then you need to give Kitchen Magic a call. They've been transforming spaces quickly, beautifully, and affordably since 1979. From refacing to custom cabinets, backsplash counters, yes, you can get the kitchen you want now, right now. They're offering 12 months of no payments, no interest financing, with 10% off your remodel. Schedule your free in-home design consultation today at kitchenmagic.com. That's kitchenmagic.com.
Dom Giordano, weekdays, noon till 3 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. And on the free Odyssey app.
All right, Dom Giordano's show. Welcome in. Funny, I don't see anything in the Philadelphia Inquirer about the Secret Service picking locks, breaking into a beauty parlor, taping over everything, forgetting to tape over the internal cameras. So Kamala Harris's entourage at an event there, somehow or another,
but Tom,
could be using the facilities.
There is a headline story, front page, why New Jersey oysters are experiencing a renaissance.
Yes, that's true. I always love a good renaissance
that
story.
is important. Oysters are delicious.
Speaking of New Jersey, somewhat in your neck of the woods, what is up with this maniac superintendent of the Deptford schools, Dan, dropping on late Friday or Saturday, I guess it was? They're not going to pick up.
Even you saw this, huh?
Yeah, they're not going to pick up. Oh, DJ was on it for use this. He puts a stamp on a text. He says to me, it says use this. Now he's got his own thing.
Oh, they are the Deptford boards, like the Facebook groups and all. Parents are pissed. They are upset.
I am too, but listeners may not be, Dan. So if you're up to 2 miles away from school, you have to be over 2 miles now to assure that you're going to be picked up for free, and they're paying gazillions of dollars in taxes.
Yeah, well, certain generations walked uphill both ways barefoot. They can walk
That's
2
right,
miles
in the
to
snow.
school. Come
Yeah,
on.
that's going to be the argument.
Only 2 miles, Dom.
But there are no sidewalks in this place
Yep.
on some of the main streets, as you would know. And for high school, it's 2.5 miles. Not yet, Dan. I don't know the pace of somebody that's like 10 or 9 walking 2 miles. Even I had to say, I know what I do it in with the run mixed in and then walk a little and then run. That's going to take 40 minutes, 45 minutes for some of them, don't you think?
Yeah, but Dom, the PR spin is great. It's going to be about a $1.6 million annual bill.
Yes.
And they want to reallocate that money to support, quote, much-needed areas. That includes renovations at schools, maintaining and increasing teaching staff, academic programs, classroom resources, student support services. But apparently safety for their kids is not important, huh?
And doing it at this point in time with people now scrambling to figure out.
Oh, it includes security, too, which
Yeah.
is surprising because you're removing security.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think it's, what is it, on the 19th or 21st? I think it's 21st. They have the big school meeting. You can't throw that out on people at this point in time and expect that this is going to fly and just say, well, you're just going to have to get the kid to school in some way, shape, or form. As far as I see it, it's ridiculous. So we'll see. If you're over in that area, I mean, this is one of the most ridiculous things with all that you pay in taxes. And I think some of it, Dan, is due to Biden in that finding people in the past to drive buses was difficult. Now it's got to be really difficult. I think they have their own staff or something, but I bet they have to pay them a lot in order to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you do then? Well, you start to cut down on the number of spots where you're going to pick people up.
Yeah, you make that a third grader walk 2 miles. Yeah, real safe. No sidewalks.
Yeah, if they're walking from let's take those that are about 1.5 miles to 2 miles before you get over the magic thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot every day, particularly in bad weather.
Yeah.
Well, it's up to the parents. I want to know this, though. These cockamamie Deptford schools, do they have the free breakfast program and the free lunch program? Do they have the universal on that? Now, that's the parents' job. But as far as getting the kid to school every day, that's a little bit different. I mean, I think the parent is the first line of defense on this. But then doesn't that cause tremendous congestion, et cetera, at school? Those waiting lines and the pickup and the whole thing? I think that becomes pretty difficult to navigate all that.
So it's about a little under 2 miles if we were to walk from here back to our old station out of 4th and Market.
Okay.
Like, I'm not going to let my third grader walk that. You kidding me? I'm not even going to walk that myself.
Yeah, picture this.
And according to Google Maps, to make that walk, which is a straight shot from here down to 4th and Market, where the old, so we're for context's sake, we're now at right across from 30th Street Station, across the Schuylkill in the 2400 Market.
Right.
So to make that walk, Dom, it says according to Google Maps, 40 minutes for 1.7 miles.
And I think more problematic than the morning walk, Dan. Let's say the parents do the morning walk, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Picking them up if they're getting out of school at 3:00. How are you picking them up?
Yeah.
That's a more difficult thing.
Yeah, 100%.
And when we get into when they start fooling around with daylight savings time and all, it's going to be getting dark on that 2 miles home. I don't know. Have Dan and I gone soft here? Has he egged me on?
Can we hear from our friend over in the Cherry Hill School District what he
thinks
parents should do?
Yes.
Grab them by the lapels and shake them like hell.
Thank you, Dan Search. The tuna sandwich.
Ooh, love that.
That's when you started to really show your abilities.
Message to parents everywhere.
The tuna sandwich, when you found out the stuff they were saying at the Cherry Hill at the school board meeting. Oh, man.
You blew it.
Thank you, Dan. All right, coming up, we're going to talk with new person on the show, Laura Mannion, head of the Chester County Chamber of Commerce. She was on Inside Story with me. Millennial Republican mom. Are these moms in the suburbs, particularly women, moms or not, a little bit more lenient on their tolerance for some Trump nonsense, given the policies versus Kamala Harris, such as they are? We'll find out. 855-839-1210.
Do you have $10,000, $20,000, or $30,000 in debt? Then listen to this. You may not be required to pay it all back.
I was drowning in debt.
Great.
I had over $36,000 in debt.
If I would have just made the minimum payments, it would have taken me 59 years to pay off.
Whether it's credit card, medical, or personal loan debt, National Debt Relief can help significantly reduce what you owe. In fact, debt relief payments can be 50% less than your monthly credit card payments. That's right, half as much as you're paying now.
National Debt Relief reduced my debt by over $27,000.
With National Debt Relief, you have a powerful team that knows how to talk to your creditors.
National Debt Relief, they got me out of debt.
More than 550,000 Americans have used National Debt Relief to reduce their debt. Call 800-649-6464 to see if you qualify to settle your debt for a fraction of what you owe. 800-649-6464. That's 800-649-6464.
40 days up to 40 pounds. Say it with me, 40 days up to 40 pounds. Visit njdiet.com or call 855-5NJ-DIET. That's 855-5NJ-DIET. 40 days up to 40 pounds. 40 days up to 40 pounds.
Your official home for Penn State football and basketball is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app. Listen to every Nittany Lions game on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app.
Offer not valid in all states or prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Great. Maxed out cards, rent is due, bills are piling up. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
We should do what my brother did. He went to GetCash.com and got $3,000.
With our bad credit?
GetCash.com is different. They're one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000.
I'm sure there's a lot of paperwork.
Nope. My brother said it was fast and easy. He did it right from his phone.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan of up to $5,000 in minutes, and your cash can hit your bank account as soon as the next day. Our lenders have millions of dollars to lend regardless of your credit history.
Great news! I went to getcash.com and we'll have our money as soon as tomorrow.
Wow, that is fast.
If you need extra cash, go to getcash.com. That's getcash.com. Getcash.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-790-1400. 800-790-1400.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, it is Dom time. Always on the lookout for new folks to bring in that we think have an interesting angle, something to talk about. Laura Mannion, and Dan just tells me, I didn't even know this, we did Inside Story on Friday, is the head of the Chester County Chamber of Commerce and is also related by marriage, through marriage. I believe her husband is a cousin to the Mannions, the Mannions.
Hey, great foundation.
I did not know that. Nice detective work. Dan insisting, I think she's got to be a Mannion. That's not that common of a name.
Come on, the last name. You think,
Mannions.
right?
We're in.
Yeah, small world.
She's also a millennial mom and had some interesting insights about presidential election, and I am fascinated again. We're coming back to this again and again and again. These 4 collar counties are going to be determinative in large measure of Pennsylvania. And I'm still convinced whoever wins Pennsylvania is going to be president. It just won't go any other way. Let's go to Laura Mannion here on Talk Radio 1210. Whoops.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, Laura, thank you. Thanks very much. I didn't know the Mannion family connection. I would have asked about that.
Yeah, so my husband's dad was brothers with Tommy Mannion, Ryan, and Travis's father.
Okay. All right. So that's very interesting. So, Laura, we talked a lot about the presidential election on Inside Story. Usually they do local stories, but these have become all-consuming because of Josh Shapiro. But I first wanted to talk about President Trump and the obvious yin-yang of this. The last time around, and maybe this time again, not as much, you seem to think, I think, the Trump personality that's grating to some women in the suburbs and men, and also the policy comparison. So don't we have to wait, though, until Harris puts down her policies, or are you already seeing that contrast?
It's funny, when I was prepping for our panel for Inside Story, my husband kept saying, "You're contradicting yourself." And I was saying, but two things can be true at once. So I have a lot of friends who are, socially moderate, more economically conservative, and, we aren't really sure where we fall in on the political spectrum these days. So I think we're seeing a lot of those, I don't really like Trump, anything he says, but I like his policy. And then you're seeing a lot of women especially saying, I'm voting for women's rights and women's rights only. And so there is, people like me in the middle who are just like, I don't really like either of these candidates, but I have to figure out, what does it drill down to at the end of the day? And I think for me and a lot of individuals I talk to, especially out here in the collar counties, it does come down to the economy. We're seeing inflation still incredibly high, cost of childcare, housing, groceries, education. The border is incredibly important. So we'll see this play out. I think right now she's got a huge swing when it comes to the media, social media, especially with the younger generations, like we talked about on the program. But will that stick throughout the election season, back into October with early voting and then into Election Day itself? Will we see, that sort of glamorization of her stick, or will it come back to the economy?
On the economy, the Inquirer doing an interesting angle here to try to help Kamala Harris. Laura, today, I know you've been doing other duties, maybe didn't see this. They say that consumers are bringing down inflation or have brought it down a bit because they're saying we will not put up with corporations going for higher prices that they got away with it during the pandemic. So this is the angle of attack, I think, of Casey. Not quite, but they're opening up something new, saying to Americans, well, it was the corporations that did this to you. Do you hear any of that?
I haven't specifically heard that. I think people just go to the grocery store and they're like, why are eggs and meat so expensive? I don't tie it back to corporate greed. I just see it as it's really hard to afford anything. I think interest rates being the way they are, people don't see that as the Fed. They see that as the current administration. And, somebody who's currently in the process of buying a house, who's paying for 2 children in childcare, and everything else, that just comes along with cost of living. I don't tie it to corporate greed. I just tie it to, wow, we are not in a great place with the economy.
So you mentioned, too, I don't know if it was on the air or not, Laura Mannion with us from the Chester County Chamber of Commerce. The median home price now of sorts, I guess, in Chester County. Give us an idea for a new home, I guess it is.
It was, and it's not a new home. It's just any home.
Okay.
I believe we're at 564 or 550,000 is the median priced home, while the average priced home is 627,000.
Oh,
627,000.
What the heck is going on? Dan, let's move this show to Chester County.
How much is it?
It's mine with gold. $500,000 and $600,000, either average or median. That is just stunning, Laura. So when people hear that, what do they think it's based on? Or is it they're not getting into the particulars, but they're going to tie it to whoever has been in office the last 4 years?
Yeah, I think people just don't really differentiate between, the Fed and the administration. And it's funny, a couple months ago, I sat in on a focus group for PennDOT, and it was kind of like, do people even know that PennDOT and the Turnpike are different entities? And most of the people in the room didn't. So I think you see what's currently going on in the economy, and the one thing you're going to do is blame the presidency, on both sides of the aisle. I think that's just a natural inclination. And, it's just because people are busy, they're working hard. We're all working incredibly hard these days, and I just think people aren't as in tune, to the inner workings of how interest rates work. So, it's an obstacle, especially for millennials. And these, they call it the missing middle. Like, we're looking to move up in the next house. I have 2 kids. I have a dog. All I want is a larger house with a yard. And like I just said, I need $600,000 to $700,000 to do that here.
Wow. Is it across, what about student loans? You're a millennial mom. How
much time do you have, Dom?
Yeah, well, fire away. Well, Dan suggested that. Now, he's in the camp a little bit. I'll tell you what Dan is we were sold this bill of goods, his generation.
Sold lies.
I think people knew.
Sold us lies, Dom.
People knew by then.
Everyone had to go to college.
Yeah,
it was the bougie thing to do,
People knew by that point, or they should have known, I would argue, Laura. Look at what you're getting into. How does the student loan thing and your mindset play out?
Well, I think it's different. It's actually ironic because I did just say to somebody this morning, millennials were told that we have to get a good education to get a good job. So we all went to liberal arts colleges or very well-off state schools or Ivy Leagues, and, worked our butts off to get a great education and a great degree. I have a dual degree. I undergrad, Franklin and Marshall College, graduate degree, Westchester University. I'm in a lot of student loan debt, and I have been paying every month for 11 years now. And my payoff date's 2027. But that is a part of my, that debt that I carry doesn't allow me to move up into the next class, that upper middle class, because every month I'm paying $500 a month towards my student loan, which, by the way, my first interest rate was double digit from the federal government. And that's something I think, we talk about predatory lending, but Sally Mae, nobody was explaining to 18-year-old me what this massive financial obligation truly meant. And I think Gen Z is actually seeing, I don't need to go to college. I don't need to go to an Ivy League and put myself in, whatever it is, $100,000, $250,000 in debt. I can make money other ways. And I think we're also seeing the stigma around community college or the trades. That's going away because, HVAC, plumbing, electrical work, those are recession-proof jobs, and you're graduating, out of your apprenticeship with a really nice salaried job.
All right. Dan is a fellow millennial of sorts.
Yeah, I'm a millennial.
Yep.
I'm a conservative-leaning guy. And my topic, or my angle on student loans for the longest time, Laura, has been when conservatives discuss the topic, it's almost insulting to a lot of people, millennials. And I think it turns off, that stance solely turns off a lot of young millennials that could lean conservative towards the party because of just the alienation, in a sense. But I'm just curious, is student loans still that big of an issue where that alienation that's still portrayed by a lot of conservatives, still turning off a lot of millennial mothers out there, or student loans still that big of an issue that one issue could determine which way they vote?
I don't think it's student loans. I think student loans coupled just with the cost of living now. And then, you talk about inflation, the economy. I think immigration's a huge one, and, national security. I think that's something the Democratic Party might be missing from these moderate moms in the suburbs that everybody is targeting for this election. If you have young kids and you see what's going on with Russia and Iran and China, there is concern there. Those security moms, we do exist, and we want to make sure that the future is safe for our children. So coupling that with the economy, I think that's where you get a lot of millennial moms who are socially liberal, but then they get hung up on those conservative issues, as they should, because it is important.
Now, illegal,
and I think that's
sorry,
what both
Lori,
parties are missing.
Illegal immigration. Chester County, I'm not boots on the ground as much as I'd like as you are. You know it. That strikes me as a hotbed of this, but the tension is that has become part of the culture there, right? Because of the agriculture and all that in Chester County. Do you think people there, well, after Cavalcante we talked about, is it more of an issue in the minds of people?
I would say, a lot of our members, we do have the American Mushroom Institute. We have some mushroom farms. We have a lot of landscapers, country clubs. They bring over a large portion of their working population every year. I talked to a landscaper who said, I've been bringing the same guys over for 20 years. They get their visas. They pay into the system. They rent space. They pay rent for 12 months, even though they might only be here for 8 or 9 months. The path, it's funny, the immigration system we know is so broken in this country, but that should have been something that Trump looked at under his presidency to really fix, because I think that would have been a huge win for him. You build the wall, you make it more secure, but then you also make it easier to come here legally and to become an American citizen, pay your taxes, and thrive in this country. The American dream.
Let me see if we agree on this. We may not, though, because I've been talking this morning, in full disclosure, that Kamala Harris is jumping into the border issue and saying earned citizenship. I am diametrically opposed to that and will be. How about you?
I think, and again, just speaking for myself, I think we're all immigrants of sorts here in America, so we should have a better system. The visa system here is flawed, so let's figure out a way to make it, we want to make you work to get your visa, to show that you want to be a citizen here and you want to become a paying member into all the systems here in America. I think that's something that this next administration, whoever it is, needs to focus on, because the visa system's broken. We all know that, and I think there is a way to compromise to get a better system here.
Laura, where do we find you, the Chester County Chamber of Commerce? Where do people go?
We have a website, chescochamber.org. We are 600 members strong from 150 different zip codes in southeastern PA. There are ample opportunities to get involved. We have 50-plus events a year for networking and some really great membership opportunities. But where we stand out is that we are a chamber of advocacy, and that's what we pride ourselves on, is that we will, we have members from all different industries, and we will advocate for you on the local, state, and federal levels on a variety of issues: housing, childcare, permitting reform, lowering the corporate net income tax, making business easier and making Pennsylvania more business friendly. So there's a lot that we do in terms of advocacy that I think is a great opportunity for companies to come and learn about and see how we can help benefit their business if they become members.
Laura, this is a Dan question. Final, are tickets still available to next week's Surf and Turf? He wants to know.
We do have a very popular golf outing at Applebrook Golf Club. We do sell out every year, but it is an incredible surf and turf dinner. So, Dan, you should come. It is not sold out yet for dinner. Golf is sold out, but we'd love to have you. And I really appreciate you guys having me on. Again, I think millennial women that will decide this election in the suburbs. Suburban women are always who are looked at. So anytime you guys, want to pick someone's brain, please, I'm happy to be on.
We will do that, Laura. It was a pleasure today and on Inside Story to be continued. Thank you, Laura.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Laura Mannion here. So my takeaway from that, I thought it was important when we were on, is that there is now a comparison, the Trump policies as Harris's policies, call it what you will, or attempted that. Now, once there's more meat on the bone, once she does, well, it's going to be interesting. I mean, I still would advocate for it. Don't do any interviews. Just don't do it. Let's see what happens. The media is not going to go wild and coming after you. They're not going to be, how can you be president? They're not doing that. Maybe a few here and there. She'll do one. before Labor Day, maybe, try to bury that. And then we're moving on. The debate, if it comes off, will be critical. All right, phone lines. Here's how you get in. 855-839-1210, AT&T and Verizon Wireless. All you have to do is push pound 1210. One of the major characters in Scarface, the buddy of Tony Morano, dies at the age of 83. So, side question. Thugs, criminals, particularly mob films of one sort or another. Think of a mob, not just Democrat mobs, but others. Hit us with that all-time scene. And behind the scenes, calculating how much that surf and turf is.
Yeah, right.
I could see him showing up at a golf tournament.
Nice
Man, what could be? Oh, by the way, a little golfing update here. Look at that remarkable recovery.
Wow, looks fantastic.
Oh, wow, wait a minute. Luke's calling the guy over at the golf course
the arm
today.
looks good, Dom.
Yeah, it started to go away. I'm still thinking there are other avenues of dealing with those guys, though, but it doesn't happen every day. We kind of milked that for a week, though. It's been a good week. 855.
There's also a cigar lounge at the Surf and Turf.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's going to be a great event.
855-839-1210. That's how you get in.
Hey everyone, it's Donald Trump Jr. Join me and Dom Giordano Thursday, September 12th at the Scottish Rite Auditorium in Collingswood, New Jersey for the next Politics and Pints with WPHT. We will talk all things Trump, the 2024 election, and my father's book, Letters to Trump. South Jersey and PA suburbs are hugely important to electing Donald Trump president. Just head to 1210WPHT.com for tickets right now. Hope to see you there.
At Lowe's, we know how to save pros time and money. Save 20% on 1-gallon cans and 5-gallon pails of Valspar Defense or Cabot Stain. Plus, save 15% on your choice of 6 or more Purdy items. And get free same-day delivery to the job site when you order by 2 p.m. Because Lowe's knows pros. Valid through 8/21 while supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See store or Lowe's.com for details. Must be single receipt purchase. Delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Additional terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Tommy! I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
With so much uncertainty in the world today, you may find yourself wondering, is now even the right time to retire?
And so many people are waiting, and those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
Fortunately, Jim Cipriotti has been helping get people to, through, and beyond retirement for over 25 years. And each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
I am Judith Krupnik, president of Cherry Hill Volvo. I drive an absolutely fabulous XC90 hybrid, the best of both electric and internal combustion. It's really an incredible Volvo. We are offering a $15,000 discount when leasing any 2024 XC90 hybrid in stock. If ever an XC90 was on your list, now is the time to visit Cherry Hill Volvo. $15,000.
Be prepared with CHIP, free or low-cost healthcare for Pennsylvania kids and teens. From checkups to unexpected bumps and bruises and everything in between, CHIP has you covered. Don't wait until you need it. Be prepared with CHIP. Because every kid deserves quality healthcare and every parent deserves peace of mind knowing their kids are covered. CHIP, free or low-cost healthcare for kids and teens under age 19. Learn more at chipcoverspakids.com.
Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
This is Jonathan Cans, third-generation owner of Marvin E. Cans Heating and Air Conditioning. Have you recently had an HVAC tech at your home to fix your unit and he wanted to sell you all types of upgrades? Look, if your AC unit is acting unruly this summer and needs to be fixed, we'll send out one of our technicians to do one thing: fix your AC. And if we do think you need a new one, we'll have one of our factory-trained install teams put in a new state-of-the-art trained cooling system to keep you cool. Visit us at marvinecans.com. That's marvinekans.com.
Free speech lives here with Don Stensland, 10 till noon on Odyssey's #1 talk station, 1210 WPHT.
It was, as you recall, Governor Walz came out and said this is the largest crowd we've had to date. And I think Donald Trump needs to stop the lying, which unfortunately has been a pattern since we've known him. And we need to get back to campaigning on the fact.
All right, welcome in, everyone. So I mentioned to our guests that the Inquirer's got a piece. This is the next line of attack. They have various corporate interests, and they have something called the Fed's Beige Book, which says that people are just not willing to pay these inflated prices. And now we're seeing corporate America respond and drop them. You know what the suggestion, the allegation, they're going for this again. It was corporate America that did this, not Bidenomics, not the stimulus checks, not the overspending, not the mess up of the supply chains and every other thing that they've engaged in, and high taxes, driving out private investment and driving these prices in the grocery store. But Harris has been allowed to skate on this because we're in a position where they sort of suggest, well, she really wasn't in charge. So to make the case against her, what you have to do is use statement after statement, what she was engaged in, like the tipping issue, that she was proud to be the vote for the Inflation Act of Biden that unleashed the federal government on people making tips for an income. I mean, it's an amazing thing. But right now, you have to be patient. There is a giddiness, media-fueled, identity politics fueled, this goofball from Minnesota fueled. Will it sustain? If it does, it's going to be very difficult. But the smart money would say, after the convention, after this sorts out, you'll start to see why she was not this overwhelming candidate and had to drop out before. And it won't be all at once. It won't be one day joy, the next day disaster. It will be incrementalism. This is where discipline, patience, making the case comes in day after day after day after day. It's by 1,000 cuts, not by one big thing. If you accept that, she's vulnerable. If you don't, and you keep on just talking about the obvious identity politics she's engaged in and Willie Brown and everything else, then it's going to be more difficult. There's a lot here, and I think the earned citizenship is something people are not going to go for. 855-839-1210. I have a list of some of the highlights of what she's been for. And again, until she does an interview or toward the debate, reparations. That's another non-starter. You would lose your health care. That's the biggest non-starter that's under the radar screen to me of all. Well, you would have great health care. The government's going to do this. We know that people are not going to go for that. Even Obama had to pull away from that a bit. These are some of the things that are vulnerabilities. Trump prosecuting them correctly is what's going to be determinative of a lot of this. All right, here is making my point. Here is one of the Danielle Moody on MSNBC making the point, or what she thinks is going to be the point that continues. This is cut 6, that what we're seeing here is something that has staying power.
Danielle, I want to go to you first. Kamala Harris kicking off her battleground blitz with Tim Walz just 4 days ago. The energy and the enthusiasm, palpable and inescapable. What do you make of the tens of thousands of people that are standing in lines for hours to come out to support them at those rallies?
I mean, Katie, I'll be honest, I haven't seen this kind of energy since 2008.
There we go.
It is inspiring. It is exciting. It is exhilarating. Democrats are in array in the most beautiful fashion that I think that we have seen. And it shows that Americans are ready for change. They are energized for change. They do not want the joyless, humorless, sad, and depressing Republican Party's vision of America. They want freedom. They want to be inspired. And this campaign, these two candidates are absolutely the ticket that we needed in this moment.
All right, now let me add something to this, and I want to hear from you, 855-839-1210. They've been adding, what this indicates, particularly with Walz, you can have normal, straight, white males, and they feel they have a big part in the Democrat Party. Who are these people? Really? That's not what the polling indicates. That's what we've not seen for years, that significant white males would feel at home in the Democrat Party. That's what they're pitching here. You can see it in the vibe. You can see this array of all these races and everything else. Is that what we're seeing? Who are the people that are engaging in this, particularly Walz? I think I told Rich off the air, but you hear it on the air. I mean, I try to take an approach of how do we win here and how do we go after these. But Walz sets me off. This clown really, really sets me off. I wonder how he's been able to get away with it up until this point. Now, Dan's trying to get in touch with the chaplain, for example, from the National Guard unit, who's spoken out over the weekend about this guy. Here is Walz in an old C-SPAN clip suggesting that he suffered from PTSD after serving in the war.
And both of you, with your keen understanding of how this works, especially from National Guard families, I can tell you this, having been one of those that came back, we were in support of OEF, but sitting in there with OIF veterans, when we came back, they showed us the horse whisperer and told us to be nice when we went home. And that was the extent of it. That was in 2004. Now, I'm proud to say that because of the people sitting in here and people who came before me, things have changed over the last 4 years. They have not changed enough. But Mr. Kennedy is following and moving something forward that the late senator from Minnesota, Senator Wellstone, advocated so clearly, mental health parity, and this issue of destigmatizing mental health, of understanding. And I being in there and knowing as a first sergeant, know exactly what you're saying, and watching as people aren't trained on this, that there is there's a discrimination that goes against a soldier who has the courage, the fortitude, and as you said, the insight to admit this.
Now, wait a minute, okay, with this guy, follow the bouncing ball. He was in Italy. They were definitely in some far-flung support. Really? PTSD? This is not stolen valor. There's a pattern with this guy. There seem to be hundreds of instances, we have others, fresh over the weekend, where he's engaged in this. Their pivot is to go after J.D. Vance and to go after Trump. And Vance yesterday on several Sunday shows made the point, Trump is not lying about this. You want to say he should have gone to Vietnam, fine, but he's not lying about it. This guy is advancing on this, is the point, or has advanced more than anything else. So it's not going to go away. How do we counter, though, given the media now is gone much farther because it's a burst of this. It's not a slow, steady thing with Harris. How did she go from someone that no one liked, no one saw as much of a contender, to, in the minds of the media now, overwhelming? 855-839-1210. That's how you get in. Let's, we'll take some more calls coming up.
Before we go to break,
yeah.
Did you see that flyover today?
No.
No, there was the...
the Italian Air Force. I heard about it.
Yeah, yes. There's a big Italian flag going right over the art museum, man. It's a source of pride for you today.
We'll have to do something on the side question mark.
Yes.
I don't know why suddenly the Italian Air Force is flying over there.
They're preparing for some kind of air show.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
I think.
Has Joe Biden been spotted? Remember in Italy?
They just had a performance at the air show. Next stop's Ocean City, Maryland. So I guess they're just touring North America and decided to show some pride for the Italians. I like that.
All right. Over the art museum.
I salute you as a Polish person.
When will the Polish air
I don't see a Polish flag up there. Come on.
Yeah, when will they be coming over Philadelphia?
I don't know if they're allowed to fly over a city.
That's okay. We'll have to get our researchers on that. They have a capable military.
Do they know how to fly planes?
And in World War II, I know the Poles really were capable. They held off the Nazis, given that the Nazis were world-class mechanized.
I like this.
It's true.
Thank
they
you.
did.
Yeah. You know what? You're right. 100%. We're very smart.
855.
Most intelligent people.
Let's see. There's Copernicus. There's Borowski.
Yeah.
I'm running out of names.
Yeah,
855-839-1210. Jump on board on Talk Radio 1210. First of all, before I come to your calls, let me tell you, I've told you about Dr. Bentz for years, my friend, dentist, board-certified prosthodontist, Dr. Robert Bentz, and the Bentz Dental Group. He's known for helping you overcome fear and anxiety, state-of-the-art facility, making dentistry as easy as can be. My recent experience, tomorrow I'm going in for something I'll tell you about, but was a great example. Permanent tooth put in. You know how that can be. Oh, my God. When we ever get a good fit. First time, bang, out of here, Dom. And that's due to the great skill, attention to detail, the staff, the 3D printer. This is a great practice geared to convenience, precision, comfort for you. Not to make this so engaged that you have to worry about nothing. And again, as I said, fear and anxiety. We've sent people to Dr. Bent's. The results, these are people that haven't been to the dentist in 8 years, something like that, are amazing. So why not get that initial evaluation? The Bent's Dental Group, you find them at bentsdentalgroup.com or call for that appointment today, 610-272-6949. Visit bentsdentalgroup.com. Tell them Dom G sent you. 610-272-6949.
For eligible individuals, 18 and older only. Results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
How are your hearing aids sounding now?
A little tinny.
Okay, 2 seconds.
With Jabra Enhanced Select's premium package, better hearing doesn't happen in a doctor's office. It happens at home, all done remotely from initial testing to adjustments.
How are they sounding now?
Fantastic. So much better.
You get the same advanced hearing aid technology and professional support you expect from a clinic at a fraction of the cost. And if you have any issues, we'll make adjustments 7 days a week, no charge.
Oh, you people are wonderful.
Our premium package includes hearing aids, 3 years of follow-up care, plus a 3-year warranty with loss and damage coverage, and a 100-day money-back guarantee.
I hear better than I ever thought possible.
Save $300 on Enhanced Select 500 hearing aids automatically at checkout. Just go to jabraenhance.com/try. That's JABRA enhance.com/try. jabraenhance.com/try.
According to a study conducted by Atticus Law Firm, 40% of retirees were forced back into the workforce because they received a deceptive sales pitch from their broker. But there is one way to ensure that you don't become part of that statistic.
Tony Gambone and Denise Gambone, Royersford, Pennsylvania.
I know people that had to go back to work because they got bad investment advice from brokers. By recording our sessions, Crash Proof Retirement proves they're willing to put their money where their mouth is.
The recordings used by Crash Proof Retirement, it's just a natural extension of how Crash Proof is legally bound to do right for the consumer.
Guarantee legally binding transparency for your retirement future. Schedule an appointment or register for the next Crash Proof Retirement educational event at the William Penn Inn on Tuesday, September 17th. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
Life can get hectic. It's easy to lose focus and balance. It's time to retreat from the noise. Take a breath, regain your inner peace. Visit Malvern Retreat House, the nation's oldest and largest Catholic retreat house. Our stunning 125-acre campus is the perfect place to step back, reflect, and recharge. Malvern Retreat House hosts men and women's retreats, helping individuals live life centered on Christ. Go to malvernretreat.com to discover your journey. Retreat from the noise. Hear God's voice.
At PGW, safety is essential to delivering clean, reliable natural gas to Philadelphia homes and businesses. If you smell gas, call PGW at 215-235-1212. Weather sponsored by Budget Blinds.
Mostly sunny. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all in the low to mid 80s with some sun and some clouds.
Summer's a great time to brighten up the window treatments in your home. Budget Blinds is your one-stop shop for blinds, shades, shutters, custom drapery, and motorization. Visit budgetblinds.com for a free in-home consultation and the only no questions asked warranty in the business. Budgetblinds.com.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
All right, it is Dom time, 855-839-1210. Let's go to John in Wallingford on Talk Radio 1210. Hello, John.
Hey, how you doing, Dom?
Good, John.
Yeah, you just asked before you left, well, how come so many people are supporting Kamala? You're saying they didn't like her before. I think most average voters didn't dislike her. She was just there as the vice president. It doesn't. You don't
Well,
get
but John, just to point of record, the polling doesn't indicate what you just said. Now, polling's polling. But they did dislike her. There was widespread disapproval of her. You could make arguments why, but that's a fact.
Yeah, and the fact is now she's getting widespread approval. And I think in part because she's talking about issues that middle-class people like me care about, you know?
Okay,
She's
well, wait,
talking
let's stop there. Okay, and I'll let you finish on it, John. I would ask you, let's go through the issues and what is the position. I'm not talking about standing up there from a teleprompter or even extemporaneously. I'm talking about you make the position and there's a follow-up by an interviewer like me or an opponent in a debate, and you have to be specific. So what's her position on the border then?
No, I think she can be specific. The border is an issue that both parties, everyone has to deal with. It's not sustainable as it is. And we had a bipartisan agreement that could have been passed if it hadn't been for Trump that would have made some difference. You know, the union of all the folks who work on that border, you know, they supported it. It would have made a difference. But instead he blocked it. And I thought that was selfish.
Okay, now wait a minute, though. So you don't think what Trump did was better than what we've seen the last 3 years when he was in office when it came to the border?
He made promises, and right now when he talks about the border, I understand there are a lot of issues, but he lies about it. He says all these hordes are coming across. And
wait a minute, they're not? We're not seeing widespread carnage across America?
No, we're not seeing widespread carnage across America.
How many lives, John, John, let me ask you, how many lives have to be lost? We can go through the litany of people that shouldn't be here that are criminals before you would say it's widespread.
Well, there haven't been that many who are criminals who have committed crimes because immigrants, if they want to be legal, they're not going to commit crimes. You know,
that's not true. They're committing widespread identity theft, almost every one of them.
Well, if they do, then they're sent back. But my point is, he's using their tactics and calling Walz a radical. And then I look at what Walz did, and as a governor, you know, he supported for people making less than $80,000 a year, free college to state universities. He gives all the indigenous people in Minnesota free college, higher education. That's not radical. Those are things that people want.
Well, wait a minute. Is it radical what he did when he allowed his cities to burn, John?
Yeah, well, Trump called him and said, "I like what you've done." And I saw that on TV where Trump called him and said, "Oh, I like the way you."
Yeah, but John, what did he do? I'm asking Dom and John here. You think that was appropriate policy when a progressive mayor of the city of Minneapolis called him out on this? Okay, I want to go back to Harris because Walz. I'm glad you called in. Let's go back to Harris. So what is it she keeps on talking about? We're going to be working on this in a Harris administration. On inflation, grocery bills, etc. She was part and parcel of these policies. And, John, her position before she became vice president was more severe even than what Biden did. So where's the credibility on doing – what else is she going to do?
There's only so much she can do. A lot of the inflation actually was caused by corporate greed.
Oh, John. You sound like a nice guy. Where are you getting that from?
It's true. No, it's true, Dom.
John, do you know basic economics, though? When you put those trillions of...
I have a PhD in economics.
Oh, John, you're gold. We discovered you. I want to put you on the team here. All right. So wait a minute, John. With a PhD in economics, John, whatever the problem... Wait a minute, John. Whatever the problem is, when you throw that kind of money into it as Biden did, don't we know predictably, John, when you study economics more day to day than I, what's going to happen when you do that?
And part of what happened was if you think of what happened in the pandemic and the money that was thrown out, it basically saved us from going into a really deep recessionary period. You know, things were really bad. And it's not a great policy decision to just throw money out, and it has to be a little more thoughtful and a little more strategic. But the bottom line is, it saved us. It did save the system. And I think that's important. And the problem is, you know, what Trump did as a president, he annoyed me when he, gives $3 trillion in debt, and most of it, 80% of it went to the richest folks in this country. And for a middle-class guy, I go, that doesn't make sense. You got to give money to the middle class. They're going to spend it.
Well, wait a minute, John. We don't have to give back money to anybody, but shouldn't it be a sound economic and a personal thing? I'll ask you, you identify as middle class, and that is to save your money from the government. In other words, not to take more and let John and Dom do the best for our families and what we want to do with our own money.
Well, I think government can do an awful lot of good with that money, and over the decades they have. The kind of research that has been government-sponsored that has led to all sorts of great things in this country, the kind of health care that we need that can be government-sponsored. I mean, otherwise that wealth just goes to the most wealthy, and that's who Trump is looking out for. And that's why I grew up in a Republican family, and Republicans were fiscally very, very conservative, and they made decisions.
Okay, I hear you. And John, let me ask you, what would you tell the people in New York, Chicago, and Denver that are outraged, very liberal bastions all across the board of illegal immigrants being thrown into New York, into the system, et cetera? What would you tell them that they're missing on all this?
They're not missing anything. We have tightened the borders. There are fewer people coming across now than when Trump was president.
That's not true. That's not true, John. They had to remain in Mexico. We're flying people into the country, John. We're telling people to come back 10 years for a hearing.
Look at the numbers, and we do need to change the policy, and that means Congress has to act together. And they're not willing to do that, and they need to do that.
So, John, parting question, John, do you think someone who comes into the country illegally should be given a path to citizenship?
No, illegally, no. You have to go and follow the rules, and that's what we
Okay,
do.
all right, John. Well, John, I want to thank you, and please, whenever we talk about economics, we'd love to talk with you. Thank you, John, very much. Dan, there's a home run. Mark John down, PhD in economics.
Doctor?
Oh, man.
Doctor?
Okay.
Doctor. And doctor.
Okay. All right. So we got onto walls, which, I know I can't just go my own bent with walls because Harris is the candidate. And what have we heard that she's going to do about inflation? Nothing really, other than we're going to work on this. What is it that would be the policy that's going to move us out of this? John hit the home run, though. We're back to corporate greed. The Inquirer today pitching the same thing.
Greedflation.
See, I think more likely economically, people are tapped out. That's why they're not able to buy the better quality products and all that corporate America offers, as opposed to corporate America is having to lower costs because people have said, enough, you're greedy. I'm not paying that. Now, Dan, as you know, with me and many decisions, I'm not paying it. I don't care pre-pandemic, post-pandemic, or whatever. Is there an item, Dan, recently you just went, no, I'm not paying that? I got to say, yesterday we stopped in the train station for lunch when we got into New York.
Yep.
I didn't know it would be on a wheat bagel. I just wanted wheat bread.
Mm-hmm.
It was a place we could sit down. The tuna sandwich, it was good. It was $8.75. All things considered.
That's not bad for a New York meal.
I didn't think so either.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Now, what's the pressure point there?
I got a Reuben that was like $18.
Yeah, but what would if we had gotten the double figures, I'm not doing it. I just wouldn't do it. $8.75, I was teetering, and I decided,
well, for tuna, too. I mean, like, it's how much in a can?
Yeah. No, I thought for New York, that was reasonable. Yeah, and you're in a train station. They have you. You know what I mean? We didn't have time to do anything else. What would have been your price point, though?
I think for sandwiches, when I start questioning it, has become $15, which is sad.
Yeah, I would think
sad,
so.
But
yes,
you look at some very local, great hoagie places. When you get the, sharp versions of their sandwiches, it's over $15.
I'm not paying that. No,
tough,
I double figures, and I'm, I have to be desperate at that point to do it. All right, so it's 855-839-1210.
Hey, did you see? There's a lot of talk from Trump on Truth Social about where the debate's going to be?
Philadelphia.
Yeah,
that's what he's saying. I've seen the Inquirer saying we don't know yet.
Yeah, they just posted another story 14 minutes ago that they reached out to Independence National Park. No return to a request for comment.
Independence National Park, though, where are they putting it there?
I guess at Independence Hall, or maybe inside the
Oh, not the Constitution Center.
Yeah, the Constitution Center. The big room there.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
First of all, the acoustics suck.
Do they?
I got to say it. I did an event there with Richard Dreyfuss.
It's fantastic acoustics, Tom.
Not in the big
we
hall.
got to sell it right now. We want them here in Philadelphia. Do you know how amazing that would be if they had a debate here in Philly?
Yeah, in our self-interest we do.
Yeah, where would you want it?
Someplace in rural Pennsylvania. I want to see Harris. It's a home court advantage.
Oh, that's true too, yeah.
Can you imagine the mobs here, around this? So, I don't like the acoustics. Plus, they're pro-Democrats, pro-progressives, the Constitution Center. Name one person they've ever honored with the Liberty Medal. This year it's Ken Burns. Oh, my.
They did have a rally for RFK recently.
That's true.
Yeah.
So, I think it could be in Philadelphia, though.
Is RFK going to invite if it's the...
You know what? He is really fallen. This is the thing that's hurtful. He's shot himself in the foot. Plus...
Shot a bear in the foot.
It seems to be some of these RFK voters are going with Harris now. I think they could go back to RFK Jr., but he's got to get into the debate. Although I really don't want him in, so I'll take that back because I just want this Trump and Harris, and I don't think she can withstand it. There will be a moment, George Stephanopoulos and Trump. Oh, my God. All right, 855-839-1210. You can get on board. All right, you heard John on PhD in economics, on his take on this. And all Harris has done at this point has glommed onto the fact that she was on next to a border state and had to prosecute drug gangs as a platform to get her toward the immigration debate. Look, I have to give credit. She's not doing what Democrats usually do. She's boldly, arrogantly saying, I'm going to contest with you on this. How can you contest, though? How can you contest on this? The other is on the issue of inflation. She hasn't laid out anything and nothing in an interview. What is she going to say? Greedflation? Take notes from Bob Casey Jr. All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210.
40 days up to 40 pounds. Say it with me. 40 days up to 40 pounds. Shed that summer vacation weight by reaching out to NJ Diet. You will lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days and without any shots. NJ Diet is all natural. They use your hair, saliva, and blood work, along with bioenergetic scans to personalize natural solutions and supplements that get your body into the fat-burning zone so you can finally lose that weight. Then, NJ Diet uses DNA info to help you keep it off. Best of all, it's contractually guaranteed. You're fully supervised the entire time to make sure you are burning fat and not just losing water. You even get the doctor's personal email and phone number. Locations in Newark, Delaware, King of Prussia, and Cherry Hill, or available worldwide with live online video consultations. Call 855-5NJ-DIET or schedule your consultation today by going to njdiet.com. That's njdiet.com. 40 days up to 40 pounds. 40 days up to 40 pounds.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
We have a man who's a warrior, a great military person. Dave McCormick is a seventh-generation Pennsylvanian who grew up in Bloomsburg, went to West Point, and earned a Bronze Star for his service in the First Gulf War. Dave went on to an outstanding career in business, and now he's fighting for the people of this Commonwealth, and he loves this Commonwealth.
Conservative Dave McCormick.
We need new leadership. We need a new president in the White House that's going to get our country back on track. We need a new majority in the Senate that's going to be able to take our country in the right direction.
Dave will vote to secure your borders, stand up to China, unleash incredible amounts of Pennsylvania energy, and he wants to stop Bidenflation. David McCormick, you have my total support and my total endorsement, and you got to win. Dave McCormick.
I'm Dave McCormick, and I approve this message.
Paid for by friends of Dave McCormick. www.davemccormickpa.com.
Drive into summer with a new Honda. Make an impression with the unmistakable style of the HR-V or turn heads in the sporty Civic. From Honda, the 2024 Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com Best Value brand. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 3.9% APR on a 2025 HR-V or at 4.9% APR on a 2025 Civic.
Visit a Piazza Honda dealer near you or shop online at piazzahonda.com.
See dealer for financing details. Exclude Civic SI and Type R based on 2024 Consumer Choice Awards from Kelley Blue Book. Visit kbb.com for more information.
Hey, Clementon. Yeah! know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. WPHT.
They're running a strange program, y'all.
It's Dan time
I can handle things. I'm smart, not like everybody says.
with Dom.
That's right. It's that time of the afternoon. Producer Dan takes over the Dom Giordano program. But right now, you got some great momentum going after that great call. So I'm going to send it right back to Dom Giordano to take some calls. Dom, take it away.
Just one point of emphasis, too. John and I didn't get into it on that, so I think he's on the other side, though, Dan. I made the point, this contention we're seeing at these Harris rallies, that there's definitely a place for they're using the terminology because of Walls, the normal, straight, white male in the Democrat Party.
Yeah.
You got to be kidding me. I mean, take a look at Josh Shapiro, just as an example. But Walls is normal? This guy's normal?
So what it takes to be normal man, Dom, in the Democratic Party? A strong attachment to avocado, right? Thick-framed glasses, even if you don't need them.
Well, I just want to do the taxi test. I want to hear these guys yelling taxi.
Yeah.
That's all. Yeah. All right.
Let me get myself in trouble if I keep going.
I know. That's why I was subtly. Let's go to Greg in Bucks County on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Greg. Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon. With all due respect to John, what socialist college courses did he take to get the government answer for everything? I mean, what is he watching when he says that there's less people coming across the border than when Trump was president? What is going on here? And why, in God's tarnation, can they not say that they're socialists?
I hear you.
Am I missing something?
And on the border thing, again, Greg, if Trump summons up discipline, patience, point by point, this is a huge winner. She stepped in it, particularly with earned citizenship. I haven't polled it, seen it recently, but there's no way the average American, based upon the emotionality connected to illegal immigration, is going to say, yes, I want to make these people citizens. No way.
Completely agreed. And the other thing is this: she couldn't even answer an economic question. All she did was answer the question with people not being able to buy anything. Well, no kidding, we can't buy anything.
Well, to your point, that's right. She just rephrases what the situation is. There's no policy or answer.
Exactly. Word salad Kamala. That's what I call her. And you know what? The media, on a dime, like the paid propagandists they are, on a dime, all of a sudden she's better than sliced bread. What is if every Democrat, and I believe the people are Democrats, and I believe the Democrat Party is not the Democrat Party. They're socialists, communists, and anti-Semitics that have taken over the Democrat Party. But on a dime, this woman is turned into, Mary Teresa. What's going on with that?
Thank you, Greg. Yeah, look, with President Obama, we heard, I think the fair thing to do, rather than saying, well, they did with Obama too, compare Obama, despite whatever the difficulties might be, to Harris. All right? And Obama, you may not like it, I don't like it, a lot of the things that we saw going on there, there's a big difference. This is not crime. This is not Barack Obama in a skirt. It's not. And he answered a lot more things at this point in time, had to go through the primaries with Hillary in a battle royal.
You'll be able to keep your health care plan.
Well, there's that. That's true. We want to bridge too far. But just think of the boldness. Now, the boldness is backed up by the media, is saying it's badass and all that stuff, that she is going to contest the border issue. And her one fig leaf here is she prosecuted an occasional drug gang at some point in California. But to John's point, fewer people are coming into the country. Just the number of people were flying into the country. Just what happens when they come to New York, Denver, Chicago even. You see people erupting. They're not going to go for earned citizenship, so-called earned citizenship, whatever that means here. And Walls is the champion of saying we owe a debt of gratitude to people that are here illegally. That's just not going to fly. We're not going to go with this. Phone lines are 855-839-1210. You can get in. As far as the issue of continuing inflation and things related to it, prediction, Harris is going to play the card, greedy corporations. And she's going to say, You can hear it already, Dana. It's in the playbook. I took on the drug gangs, border. I took on the greedy corporations and banks. They did it to you, not Bidenomics.
Stickers bars.
I'll say this. It's much better to be aggressive than to just let the border be taken over by Republicans. But you get out there too far with earned citizenship that she's saying because she believes in it. Well, she believes in come here if you're illegally. Use that to keep your base saying, yeah, she's one of us. Make these people citizens. You keep broadcasting that, that's trouble. Ultimately, this is a patience game. Don't get too nuts. It's the first quarter. You don't have to start throwing the bomb. You may not even be down a field goal. You're probably tied at worst. Phone lines. Dom's Money Melody coming up too. 855-839-1210.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. If you or anyone in your family has been injured in a car accident, call us now, as the time to file a claim may be limited. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before, protecting America, fighting for you. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
Chester County native Nick Mead had the honor of being the U.S. flag bearer at last night's closing ceremonies. Cradles to Crayons is giving thousands of supplies to support local families in need this school year. Montgomery County hosted women from around the world for the largest female flag football tournament.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
What if I told you your home movies are already past their prime? It's true. The magnetic tape used in VHS and camcorder tapes only lasts between 10 to 20 years, which means your baby's first steps, weddings, and family vacations are fading away as we speak. Digitizing your old media with Legacy Box stops this fading process in its tracks. And by preserving your recordings, they're safe forever. Legacy Box is simply the best way to preserve your past, which is why they've been trusted by over 1 million families. Your memories are meant to be shared, not chewed up by the VCR or worn away with time. For a limited time, you can convert your tapes to digital for just $9 a tape. There's never been a better time to convert your entire collection. That includes film reels and photos too. Visit legacybox.com/value to get our $9 sale. That's legacybox.com/value to unlock our $9 offer. legacybox.com/value.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
Hey, it is Dom time. Welcome in. Dom's Money Melody coming up. Side question in honor of the passing away of the sidekick of Al Pacino in Scarface. That scene in a film, criminal, thug, or mob-related. Mob-related might be the best. We'd love to get you on board. We heard from John Wallingford, PhD in economics. So he has stirred people up. He said a lot more things than Kamala Harris has. So where does she go in the two big issues, the two I's, inflation and the border? Well, Dan, on the border, let me play. People may not have heard it at the top of the show. We have the vice president's ad. And look, there is hubris involved here, but I think aggressive campaigning is a good thing. How does Trump counter this? Now, this is aggressive for a progressive, a far progressive, to say, yeah, she's tougher on the border, illegal immigration than anybody. Cut 5.
Kamala Harris has spent decades fighting violent crime. As a border state prosecutor, she took on drug cartels and jailed gang members for smuggling weapons and drugs across the border. As vice president, she backed the toughest border control bill in decades. And as president, she will hire thousands more border agents and crack down on fentanyl and human trafficking. Fixing the border is tough. So is Kamala Harris.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
All right. Now, you can say, as we have throughout the show today, and as Trump, if done patiently, taking this apart, this is ridiculous. First of all, their researchers ought to have the facts on exactly how many of these drug gangs, et cetera, did she prosecute? What has been her public position on illegal immigration over the course of years? Why the turn, whatever the turn is that's here? And then the home run for me is to emphasize, even after all that, even after trying to co-opt this issue, she comes back essentially to their talking point, which is comprehensive. We know what that means, citizenship. That is not going to fly. That's your point of emphasis. That's where to go, because it's not a convoluted, it is not a hard concept to sell to people. Now, if we can't win on saying, no, 20 million people here illegally are not going to become citizens, then I think this country has changed more radically than I can imagine. You're going to win on that. It's a simple concept to go forward. It always has been a winner. It is a non-starter with people beyond the MAGA base. They're not going to buy into that. They're not going to hear all the wonders of how that will change and what it will do. And have hope on this. Trump's got to pull himself together, though, to be in a patient, coherent manner of emphasizing this issue. We have beaten them every time. We beat the Bushes, the Catholic Church, the Wall Street Journal, that cardinal up in New York. Dan, if you have him there, maybe we'll get people roused up. Next segment, when the cardinal talked about what he tells those Catholics in New York, essentially to shut up and realize they came here. That's the way to do it, Cardinal. Maybe they'll try that next. We're all I think John said something like that. Well, we're all immigrants or came from an immigrant family, etc. We'll play it in a minute. We've beaten the big business interest, the left, every interest out there that wants to flood the country and change the culture of people that are here illegally. You heard the ad, though. You see her pivot of what she claims she did. And again, we talked about it strategically. This Langford guy from Oklahoma and these other Republican morons took the bait, telling us they negotiated this tough border bill with Joe Biden, who suddenly, 3 years in, was doing this to try to take the issue away. And Trump smartly said, no way, you're not taking the issue away. There's a price to pay for this. Is this the cardinal you have, Dan?
Bishop Weisenberger, is that who you're talking
about?
Oh,
no, that guy. I'm going to hell already.
All right, so help me out here. Cardinal, what is it that you need?
That's Cardinal Dolan. Remember about the people in New York complaining about illegal immigrants
I'll have it
overwhelming
for you.
Give
me this.
Now, the Bishop of Tucson is the one that said, this guy, right? We ought to be talking about excommunicating Border Patrol and border agents who were enforcing Trump's policy, which he mischaracterized, around families coming across the border. These people are amazing. But Dolan is particularly galling. He's like a Walls guy. He's folksy. He's a cardinal. You have the one you want? Or
Nah.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll wait. Yeah,
I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, 855-839-1210. That's how you get in. So how do you push back on the media helping on this, the blatancy of someone who is one of the most radical on the border, on the Democrat side, trying to co-opt the issue? Well, as I said, it takes playing her positions. It has better research. Who did she actually prosecute? What did she actually do? And I told you a little prediction on inflation and the pursuit of bringing that down, the rate and everything else, standard of living. She'll be tempted to do what John just did, which is to blame corporate America. Inquirer today, I told you, big article, all this information saying people are finally tired of these high prices. They're not going to pay them anymore, and that's making corporate America drive them down.
I got it finally.
Is it they're tired of them, or they just can't do it enough anymore, that they might pay them, but they just can't make that commitment? It's not they resent, as Dan said, a $15 sandwich. They might resent it, but they're just not going to do it. Even if there's quality involved, they're going to say, I'm going to take lesser quality. We've diminished the lives of America. Joe Biden did that. Kamala Harris will do it even more. And all this, the well that they go back to every time is COVID. And COVID, we didn't do a good enough job. I know it's hard with the media of winning on. This guy Walls, for example, the snitch line. What they did during COVID is they showed how authoritarian they are. And this administration would be wildly authoritarian. At some point this hour, I'll remind everybody about Kamala Harris going after the Knights of Columbus. Remember that judge, federal judge interrogation from Nebraska? But he was a member of the Knights of Columbus. Oh, my God. I guess they didn't like the costumes. They didn't like the swords. I need a knight to call in. They didn't like the knights. All right, here is Dolan, though, and this always sets me off, telling the people in New York, Catholics, about being immigrants themselves. How dare they? I wasn't near the Roosevelt Hotel, thank God, Dan. I was thinking of going by there. Roe was too busy with pleasantries. You know me, I'm always looking, I want to go over there and see what's going on over there. I can imagine it's a war zone. All right, here's Dolan telling them, shut up about people overrunning New York City.
People in that parish were talking about first, second, and third immigration Italians, rebelled and said, absolutely not. We will not have them here. Now, Bishop DiMarzio always likes to point out, usually that was done by the Irish, but this time it was done by the Italian. And so I tried to reason with them to go back in history and to say, this is exactly what your parents,
no, it's not, buddy.
Your grandparents, and your great-grandparents faced. It was the same thing. And gradually they began to recall the stories. And they said, that's right, we remember Nona saying this. Or we remembered when the Irish pastor made us Italians go downstairs for Mass and not be in the main church. When I was able, I'm not saying I was eminently successful here, but I could see the ice begin to melt, and the people sort of saying, oh, that's right. We are immigrants. We are immigrants too. We are children and grandchildren of immigrants, and that's what makes our country great.
Are you melting? Borowski's, Giordano, Kelly? We got them all. We got the big three here. Just think about it. You don't get bigger than the big three here of immigrant groups. The Poles, the Italians, and the Irish. And what he's saying there is so insulting. No, Your Eminence, it's not the same thing. Go and watch Godfather 2. See if you're coming in Ellis Island way, right, and you have tuberculosis or something. Cough for me. You're not coming in the way we're seeing now. Yeah, you're not overrunning the country in this manner. You didn't have a welfare system set up. Kamala Harris, people here illegally get full health care just like America. No. So not only are you wrong, you are diminishing what truly happened to immigrants who built this country versus the situation we're seeing now. And you're neglecting one big thing, too. At that point in time, you could argue we needed influx legally of immigrants. At this point in time, they're trying to make, we need these people. Is that the case? It's so galling. The ice was breaking. Those Italians, they finally got it when Dolan put the magic on them, Dan. Yes, what an Irish storyteller. I just needed a few minutes. If I go back there again, no, those people in New York are going nuts. And we should continue to send people there to Denver, to Chicago. I wish we saw it here in Philadelphia. Let's see how they like it versus the border states. Where's the morality of inundating those people in Texas and Arizona to have to deal with this? It's not moral. It's just not. And you're not that good. You're not breaking the ice with them. It's just like our ancestors. Thank you, Cardinal. I'm going to go home now. Thank you. Now I realize it. Sorry. Well, go to confession. Make sure you confess that. Can you imagine? What a con man. Give me a break. Let's see. Let's go to Mary Ann in Doylestown on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Mary Ann.
Hi, Tom. How are you?
Good.
I was just listening to Kamala Harris's new phrase for amnesty, which is now earned citizenship.
Yes.
It is maddening. I know you have worked on, trying to defeat the 2006, 2007, 2008 Senate amnesty bill. And, the public wasn't having it, and it didn't pass, thank goodness. And now they're trying to revive that again. But earned citizenship is just plain the magic wand of amnesty to allow, the 10, 20 million illegal immigrants to magically become citizens at the expense of the taxpayers, at the expense of our safety, at the expense of, state and federal government welfare programs. It is insane. We just can't have it.
No, well put, Mary Ann. You're right. And you're emphasizing the one thing I always want to say on this, though. People get disheartened because she's aggressively jumping into this. We beat them every time. Look at what we're arrayed against. The Dolans, the Wall Street Journal, the Bushes, the left. We beat them, and we're going to do it again.
I sincerely hope so. And every time she brings it up, someone just needs to straight up ask her, you had 3.5 years to fix this situation. That you have no record on this matter. Whatever she says just has no bearing anymore.
Thank you. And again, I want to see the research. Now, I'm a big believer in I know in court, what can win is your investigators, how much they dig up. Same thing in politics. How much did she really prosecute whom? What convictions, drug gangs, cartels and all? She was unafraid. And she's going to pivot to saying she did the same thing to banks and corporate America. And she's not afraid to go after them. They're the ones that have concocted this inflation that you're living under. And we're not going to let them continue to do it. And rocket scientists like Bob Casey Jr. are also out there. I'm waiting for her to say, as Biden did, as Bob Casey says about the Snickers bar. Is she really going to go Snickers bar here? Oh, man, I'm waiting for that. All right, right now, though, it is time daily for something Dan put together. That's right.
Melody.
Today, I think it intersects with the side question because we're talking about the passing of the sidekick in Scarface, premise then criminals, mob films, thugs. Give us that scene. And you're playing today, wow, your chance to win a $50 Burger King gift card. Embrace the heat this summer with the all-new fiery menu. Beat Dan out on this. Now available for a limited time at participating U.S. Burger King restaurants. Dan, you share this with Rose. She almost ordered a burger yesterday in an Italian restaurant with me.
What? Wait, no.
Yes.
That's a sin.
She gets crazy wanting
a
the
burger in an Italian restaurant?
Yes. She said, I really have to have a burger.
Burgers?
Yes.
Is there gravy on top?
No, there was no
mozzarella?
gravy. No, and she came to her senses and had seafood, but that's another story.
It's called a meatball on a bun.
Okay. All right, what do you have here?
A hamburger in an Italian restaurant. Dom, so today we're talking about someone who's very familiar with these films we're talking about today. He is someone that you're also familiar with. Apparently, in the past, I've heard that you've hosted events with the guy, and he's such a good dresser that on the station's dime, you were like bought a multiple $1,000 suit.
Oh, man. I'll tell about it in a moment. It was the La Festa suit.
Ah, yeah. So, Dom, we're having a cover today. We're going to play a cover song, and we want to know who the cover artist is. A little bit more about this person. He started working as an elevator operator before breaking big. So, Dom, we want to know who the cover artist is today. Take a listen. A very well-dressed man who's very known for being in certain films. Take a listen.
Crazy. I'm crazy for feeling so lonely.
Great voice.
I'm crazy, crazy for feeling so blue.
I might say, hey, just had the misfortune of being against the best of all time, Dan, maybe.
Yeah.
But maybe that's why he played the role that we're talking about here. So who is that singing there? And it kind of plays into our side question today, big time. Get in right now, and you're off to Burger King. 855-839-1210. That's how you do it here. More of your calls coming up, too, with Dom on Talk Radio 1210.
I should state, Dom, I want to make a correction here.
Yes.
This person was considered for the role we're talking about, and that's why he's well known to be associated with the film, but he didn't actually play the person. It went to another similar singer. So I want to know who the singer was that
I messed up here.
Yeah, did not take the role.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
This is tougher then. All right. Jump on board with your guesses on Talk Radio 1210.
Talk Radio 1210's Huge Politics and Pints with Donald Trump Jr. is moving to Thursday, September 12th. Join Dom Giordano as he talks to Donald Trump Jr. about all things Trump. Just 2 days after the planned presidential debate. The new date, Thursday, September 12th at Scottish Rite Auditorium in Collingswood. Your tickets include a copy of Letters to Trump by former President Trump. A cash bar will be available. Get your tickets now at 1210WPHT.com. That's 1210WPHT.com.
Hi, it's Rich Zioli. I'm joined here today by my friend, the co-president and CEO of Cooper University Healthcare, the one and only Dr. Anthony Mazzarelli. Dr. Maz and I are here to tell you about our buddy, Dr. Mike Veneria. Not only is he my dentist, he's my family's dentist as well. And not sure if you knew this, he's Dr. Maz's dentist too.
That's right, Rich. Dr. Mike Veneria is and has been my dentist also. And doctors choosing doctors, that can be quite a selective process. And not only do I go to him, but for years, my sister and my niece and my nephew, the whole family goes.
Well, it's no secret. We're all delighted by the care that Dr. Mike Veneria and his award-winning team provide, and you need to check him out.
Whether you're looking for pediatric, general, cosmetic, implant dentistry, you don't need to look any further. Dr. Veneria's office does everything. Dr. Veneria's office also exceeds all CDC guidelines and has always maintained the strictest infection control, like their centralized UV sterilization of airflow, which is incredibly important to me.
Locations are right over the bridge in Cinnaminson and Woodbury. Your perfect smile's waiting. Call 856-786-2020 or visit veneriadental.com.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Are you raising the child of a loved one? You're not alone. Like many others, you've stepped up to raise the child of a friend or family member, allowing them to live, grow, and thrive among people they know. While fulfilling, it can also be challenging. But there is support. PA Kin Connector helps kinship caregivers just like you by providing connections to resources, services, training, and support groups. Don't navigate the journey alone.
Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Summer is here, which means pool days, beach trips, and yeah, you guessed it, traffic jams. Oh yeah, and heat waves. Don't let summer catch you by surprise. Get the local news you need, no matter what you're up to, with the free Odyssey app. And never miss a beat with alerts on breaking stories sent directly to your phone. Listen today on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
Mr. Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra.
Joel Embiid is excited. The process marches on.
Oh, George, welcome to Philadelphia.
Morris, hallelujah.
See Joe Conklin and the City Rhythm Orchestra at Cherokee High School in Marlton, New Jersey, Saturday, October 26th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com.
The Sixers will prevail.
Oh, baby! joeconklin.com.
Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet?
Not yet.
Do it today.
Okay.
At 1210 WPHT.
It's Dom Money Melody.
Where's all the money gone?
Show me the money.
All right, given the convolution of today's mob death and
associated with a very famous movie we're talking about today.
All right, he got the role, the other guy didn't, that I was associated.
So the story goes that this person was offered the role after a very big director joined. You know what? I'll tell it after because I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah, all right, let's go to Todd in Telford. Very alliterative here on Talk Radio 12.
We're going to play a clue first. We're looking for the cover singer, Dom.
Yes, who's singing that, Todd?
Okay. Hey, hi, Dom. It sounds like Vic Damone to me.
All right, it is Vic Damone. Would Vic Damone have been better as the Sinatra character, or was Al Martino?
That's close. Maybe Vic.
Okay, I'll put you on hold. And Dan, my Vic Damone story was, we were doing La Festa, the station. They wanted me to be the moderator. There was some behind-the-scenes stuff, as always happens. And the then program director, not Greg Stocker, it was a female, takes me out and buys me, it had to be like a $750 suit.
Ooh.
And this is like at least 20 years ago, I think.
Yes, please.
So there you go. Today's value had been a couple thousand at least. I still have it.
That's you still have it?
The La Festa suit. Maybe I'll bring the jacket in tomorrow and wear it. Yeah, since the arm's healing, I should do that. Yes.
Todd just won, Dom, a $50 gift card to Burger King. Can you handle the heat? Burger King is serving a bold flavor and spice this summer with all new fiery menu, including the fiery bacon Whopper, fiery chicken fries, fiery strawberry and Sprite with the fiery strawberry puree, and more for a limited time at participating U.S. restaurants. It's a fiery take on your BK favorites with spice levels from mild to wild so everyone can have their way. So, Dom, the story behind this, and it's kind of explored in The Offer, the great TV show out there.
Right.
Vic Damone was actually the choice of Albert Ruddy. And Ruddy made this public, but Martino was given the role by Ruddy. And then Coppola comes in. Coppola wants Vic Damone. So Martino gets the role stripped when Francis Ford Coppola joins The Godfather. And allegedly, according to Martino himself, goes to his mob boss, Russell Buffalino. And they orchestrate a PR campaign pointing out that Coppola was unaware of Martino being awarded the part by Ruddy. And therefore, after a salary dispute and not wanting to promote the mob and anger of Frank Sinatra himself, who Vic Damone profoundly respected, he backed down. And ultimately, that part of Johnny went to Al Martino. So just crazy history there. But Vic Damone, the choice of Francis Ford Coppola himself for that part, might have been better, as you said.
What's the best scene with him in there?
It's the wedding, right?
Well, he's not. He's not that big in the scene. It's where Fredo is objecting. When Michael comes to Vegas and they have to get the girls out of there and the band and all that out of there, Dan. And then Michael, puts it on the Sinatra character about will he perform in Vegas for his Godfather.
Now, how do you think it's all BS? Frank Sinatra was angry and.
Don't tell me you're innocent, because it insults my intelligence. It makes me very angry.
Was he like that, Sinatra, you think?
Well, that wasn't Sinatra. That
was. There was a lot of talk about Sinatra being angered by any kind of depictions that were remotely,
I'm sure he was.
Him. And
no, but that was.
A lot of people didn't want to anger him, and that's why.
That was with Carlo, though.
Okay.
The thing, when Carlo finally has to fess up. All right, so I gave.
Yeah.
I gave my scene. I have to say, when the James Caan Sonny beats up Carlo and throws him under the fire plug in The Godfather, which you haven't seen, biting his hand because he's holding for dear life onto a railing, and he just bites his knuckles there. Oh, James Caan was perfect in that role. All right, so we're looking here for that film that has a great scene, thug, criminal, mob film in honor of the Scarface guy dying. But you heard the caller, too. You heard the caller, the justification, the broader justification. Over the weekend, the Harris campaign is saying, are you kidding me? Of course, the Democrat Party is a place for normal, white, straight guys. They have a place. You're seeing this all at this rally. Who are these people? Do they really think that's in their best interest? Hasn't the party made it clear going out of their way? And particularly, Walz, somehow or another, is the exemplar of what you should look up to. Is that guy normal? He's calling J.D. Vance and Trump weird. The guy that has the positions that Walz does, particularly on transgender issues, that's what normal is. That's what you have to think to be in good standing. I mean, look at Josh Shapiro. By the way, Josh Shapiro out there today said, I had a deeply personal choice to make, as did Vice President Harris. Now he's spinning it to say, I love being governor of Pennsylvania. I believe every Pennsylvanian should have the freedom to chart their own course, opportunity to succeed. It was important to me to be able to chart my own course. When pressed, he declined to elaborate on what he meant exactly. So he's trying to spin this, Dan, towards saying that, yeah, he'd like to be VP, but only if he had some real authority, some stuff to do. Trying to pivot away from a large part of the truth, which is you are pro-Israel, but more importantly, you went after these encampments. And I have a story today, we'll get to it in due time, that the Socialist of America movement, Dan, is saying, you think those encampments were bad the last time. This time, their strategy, now I don't know if this is going to work, they are going to strike. In other words, they're going to have students not go to class. Now, that seems to be a popular thing, right? Hey, I'm not going to class. I'm striking because of what's happening in Gaza. But you know what they'll also do? They'll try to prevent students from going to class. So watch this time. What will the universities do? They're cowardly. So kids not going to class, they may not do too much about. But how can you have a university? Well, what they'll do is they'll just paper it over and say you all get an A. You know, it's just a piece of paper, isn't it? Isn't that really what this comes down to? A piece of paper saying, I went to Princeton. That's all people want here. There's no a sense of learning or moving toward learning or any of that stuff. So this will be the tactic. There might be encampments, but mainly striking, do not go to class. What will these students do, particularly Jewish students, if they're going to class? And what will Josh Shapiro say? Most importantly, what will his son say? That's what I'm waiting to hear on this. Well, Dad, yeah, I think they have a point there. So come on, Josh. I'm sure they thought you were too aggressive. I get that. But in addition to that, the main thing is they didn't want to have the progressive base erupt. Things were looking good for Harris. She wasn't going to do with that. So, Dan, you and I are being told to be a normal guy, we have to be like this blowhard Walz. That's a normal guy to Democrat. He is the ultimate normal guy. Finally, we've got it. We say all the time, it's a battle of the normies, who are often vaguely Republican, versus progressives, who are not anything but weird. And now Walz comes riding to the rescue. Just think of all the things he does as a normal guy.
In effort to portray myself as a normal guy, Dom, I would like for you to start referring to me as brand manager.
Okay, that's right. Why is that?
Well, I obviously I've achieved that. Move aside, Greg Stalker, you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's right.
Stolen valor, something that comes along with being a man, apparently.
Oh, finally. Let me hear that taxi again from you.
I'm not the brand manager, so yeah.
Let me hear that taxi from you again.
Hey!
Ro was really impressed, Dan. If you text her, she'll tell you.
Yeah?
My taxi calling yesterday not only got the taxi to stop, but two guys down the block a little bit were going, yo, stop, to the taxi driver. Dan, when have you seen that before? That's impressive.
I'm going to call you out on this because I'm texting your wife right now. How impressed were you with Dom's taxi calling?
Oh.
Just out of context. See,
she might even call in on this. That's how big it was, Dan. I'm telling you, it was impressive.
This is Steve Irwin's. What's this call?
That's right. I mean, I could be kind of loud. It was impressive, though, in the middle of New York to get the taxi to stop.
And you got people helping you, too.
It had to be a distance of at least 75 feet that I yelled.
Yeah.
Maybe 80. Yeah. I don't think I could throw a football any farther than I. All right, let's take
New Yorker, Don.
Let's take Scott in Mount Laurel. Hey, Scott. Afternoon to you.
Oh my God! It was like one of the only times I ever recognized the voice. I knew who it was, but too late. But I tell you what, it's amazing how businesses were not greedy when Trump was president. They only became greedy when Biden and Harris became in office.
But Scott, look at the fingerprints. You can see where she's going. I prosecuted drug dealers, cartels. Check border. I prosecuted banks, corporations. Check inflation. That's where it's going to go.
Yeah, well, and the media is going to help her, but we have to continue on. Borders are, you were the borders are, and it's look how horrible it's been. Look at all the policies that your administration ended that were in place and that were working. And I thought Vance handled it really well when he, didn't get drawn into the idea of deporting, 15 million people. And I agree with that, is that the comprehensive thing makes no sense. The whole idea is, hey, let's stop the bleeding, stop the flow in. Then we can discuss what you want to do with those who are here.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think, though, Scott, if people know what earned citizenship means, maybe you use a different phrase for it exactly. It's pretty uncomplicated. You're going to make citizens out of people that came here illegally. I think that's 60-40, a loss for them. And it's something that people don't have to read a whole lot to understand. They get what we're proposing.
Yeah, I agree. The only line you have to walk is there are people that know illegal people that are just living here and they like them personally. And if you said that you were going to deport that kind of a person, that would upset them. I don't know how many voters are like that are out there, but I'm sure there are some.
Yeah, there are. Scott, what's your scene?
That scene, I like the one in Bronx Tale when they're in the bar with the bikers. Says, no, you just can't leave.
I took that one off. You can imagine. That's my favorite. That's a winner. Yeah, but give us another one. You got another one?
Okay, another one is when in the Untouchables, when Stone had that the guy lined up with the shot in the train station, and Nelly says one. The guy was giving him 3 seconds to decide what he was going to do. So the gangster says one, and Stone says 2.
Beautifully done. Very underrated film, The Untouchables, Dan. The big swirl of it, the music, the whole thing. And Sean Connery, what are you prepared to do? All right, jump on board. 855-839-1210. More reaction to our caller, more reaction to the side question today. 855-839-1210. I don't know what the United States is going to do if the Iranians try to go to war with Israel. That's going to be an interesting line to see what VP Harris will say about it. It's out there. It's going to happen. All right, first, though, now's the time to get Rescue Natural Supplements during their annual Customer Appreciation Sale. Rescue is celebrating you. Save 50% when you mix and match any 5 products or more with the code VIP50. Plus, you'll receive free shipping. Try the popular Rescue 1250 Omega-3 for heart health, Rescue Probiotic for better digestion, or Rescue Oracine for more energy. Again, mix and match any 5 or more single bottles and enjoy 50% off plus free shipping. To place an order, visit res-q.com or call 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak with a knowledgeable Rescue product consultant. And if you're new to Rescue, be sure to create your own account to earn more exclusive savings. Again, use the code VIP50 to receive 50% off and free shipping when you mix and match 5 or more Rescue Natural Supplements. Use that code VIP50 at res-q.com.
mostly sunny. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all in the low to mid 80s with some sun and some clouds.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-790-1400. 800-790-1400.
Do you feel like you're going through life clouded by doubt? Talk to California Psychics. Our trusted and accurate psychics are available 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Right now, new customers get 80% off their first reading. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
The exclusive crash-proof retirement system continues to be tried, true, and proven by over 5,000 crash-proof consumers.
I am Nancy Harding. This is my husband, Robert. With the crash-proof system, we are inflation-proof.
To offset inflation, we could take more cash out. The rest of our system will continue to grow.
And at a faster rate than we take it out. It makes his sleep, hence my sleep, so much better.
Tom Herr, and this is Susan Herr, Norvon, Pennsylvania. The crash-proof system is fighting inflation for us. When prices do go up, we still have income coming in. And even though we're using money, we're still making more money. And at the end, we have more money than we started with.
We have those resources to make our life in retirement much more comfortable.
And we can sleep at night.
Yes, definitely.
Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at the William Penn Inn on Tuesday, September 17th. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we are offering the C40 lease for 36 months for under $500 to qualified buyers. This is a really fun Volvo to drive. We also have a huge selection of certified Volvos. And what about $15,000 off when leasing a 2024 XC90 hybrid? This is an incredibly fabulous Volvo. It's the Volvo I drive. Visit us here at Cherry Hill Volvo for the attention and respect you deserve.
People are talking about Window Nation. One customer said,
"We couldn't be happier. This was a great experience."
Window Nation is about value, and this August, they're giving you a great value during their anniversary sale. Buy 2 windows and get 2 free. There's no limit on how much you could save. Plus, pay nothing for 24 months. Act now and get an extra $250 credit. Hurry, sale ends August 31st, so schedule a fast in-home estimate right now at 866-90NATION or at windownation.com.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Today, we're the largest injury firm in the world, and I'm thankful to you for trusting us all these years. We'll always be here for the people, not the powerful. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
All right, Tom Giordano show. It's been a full ride today, particularly a PhD in economics caller. Dan has really set people off. But watch this. Vice President Harris glomming onto the border, aggressively going after that. I'm the one that prosecuted them. Then we had the toughest immigration law ever. I was in favor of that. Trump was not. Case closed. How about the other eye? Inflation, economy / well, I prosecuted banks and corporate America that was out of line. It's the same thing. It's greed again. Get me in there, and I'm going to go after them. They'll roll it out, 1-2 punch. It's an interesting way to go down this path. This way, she's taken a position without ever having to address anybody in an interview or whatever. I'm just waiting for the first Walz interview, though. That's going to be other interesting. And are they really going to have Walz and Kamala Harris do the dual interview together, indicating how weak they really are? Oh, man. Josh Shapiro. Come on, Josh. You should have been in there. Come on. You know it. Stop with it. Oh, I made a personal choice. So do they. Let's go to Robert in Ben Salem. Hey, Robert. Afternoon.
Hey, Dom, Dan, it's good to talk to you guys today. I really want to thank you for the entertainment because I can't believe that I just heard someone who says that they have a PhD in economics who doesn't know that Biden expanded the money supply by $4.8 trillion and devalued our dollar by 18%. If he doesn't know that and he says that he has anything in economics, he has to be lying. And that bill was not a good bill. All it did was make their law breaking over the last 3 years legal now by allowing in thousands every day. That wasn't a border security bill. That was to perpetuate the Democrats' false narrative about how they've been breaking the law for the last 3 years. And while Trump had illegal immigration down 75%, we've had 12 to 15 million stream in the last 3 years. And John with the PhD is going to try to say that it's been down since Trump. I mean, these people are delusional, Dom. It tells you that they don't have a PhD in anything but watching and parroting what the mainstream corrupt media says.
You're my go-to guy on the dollar, though. Beautifully put. That's what it comes back to. That's where this came from. There is no doubt. And look, Robert, I think we both agree that patience will be the way to detail and take this move apart with Harris. But she's banking, if you go nuts on what she's doing here with the border and don't patiently take her apart, she's going to do better than other Democrats who just refused to engage and allowed Republicans to win the day on it. So we'll see.
And it's one more thing. It's the ridiculousness of it. This guy probably has a 401k, and he's complaining the false narrative about greedflation. That greedflation is companies trying to stay up with Biden's inflation so that they can still turn a profit and make money for their investors. These people have no idea what they're talking about. It's almost scary, Dom.
Absolutely.
But I'll get right to my side question. It's probably understated, but I just thought it was cool. It was a scene in Heat where Robert De Niro, a big-time politician, and Al Pacino were in their first scene together in their careers. Despite the Godfather movies, they had never been in the scene before that. Pacino was the cop, De Niro was the criminal, and it was just a great, subdued, cool scene. Probably not going to win, but I liked it. And you guys have a wonderful...
Thank you, Robert. I don't know that scene, but that sounds, that sounds very good. Leslie in Bryn Mawr on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Leslie.
Aloha.
Aloha.
So, I'm kind of mad John Howland stole my aloha, by the way. John, I'm sure he's a very nice guy, but it was so infuriating to listen to him. And if he is a sampling of what the average Democrat voter believes, and I believe he probably is, we're in trouble.
Yeah, I think he is. That's the norm.
I think he is too.
Yeah, and he was very polite, very nice. We weren't howling at each other. And whether he has a degree in economics or not, I don't think he was lying. I think he might. It's very clear how you have to think to be a white male inside the Democrat Party.
Well, Robert just made some wonderful points too. The border bill was more about getting more funding to Ukraine than it was the border. And nobody knows that because they don't read these things. And Harris running around saying that she's going to, that she's gone after drug cartels and she was successful. Well, she also introduced Prop 47, which is a disaster. And that's the bill that allows them to arrest people, but put them right out the back door right after they arrest them. So, and crime under $1,000, that's not a crime. That's a disaster.
Well, that's where that Trump himself, not just ads, has to state this just calmly and clearly. This is the real story. Because that's the premise that everything else is based on. Leslie, what's your...
just real quick, I think, you know how they put, when Trump speaks on his podium, it's a Trump-Vance sign?
Yes.
He should put up the border crossings from when he was in office to today in a bar chart. And every, CNN, they all, show him at at that podium. Let that, and everybody, not just Republicans watch.
Right.
A lot of people watch when he speaks. Let them see for themselves.
I think that's a great idea, the contrast, and that's why he turned when he got shot. What's your film and your scene?
So it's Jules and Vincent, two hardened, heartless hitmen, are on their way to do a hit, and they strike up a conversation about the differences between Europe and the United States. And Vincent goes into the Royale with cheese.
Yes.
And that they couldn't call it the quarter pounder because they used the metric system. And it's just, you're thinking to myself, these guys are heartless. And here they're casually having this conversation about cheeseburgers before they're about to go blow people away. It just
It's
makes me laugh.
beautifully done. As I told Mr. Tarantino, Dan, that time, when he called in mistakenly and was supposed to be on another channel, I acknowledged that scene. I acknowledged the brilliance. So I think he did say at one point, is this the right channel? And I said, it's absolutely the right channel.
Yes, it is, Mr. Tarantino.
Try to get him back on again. He'd be on your top 10 list. All right, we have a little bit of a preview tonight, though. The KGP, the Biden person, being asked about Elon Musk and Trump tonight.
Listen to the reporter's questioning, Dom. It's
the
ridiculous.
reporter. This guy is supposed to be against censorship as a reporter. He wants to know, are you going to censor the disinformation?
Elon Musk is slated to interview Donald Trump tonight on X. I don't know if the president is going to tune in. Feel free to say if he is or not. But I think that misinformation on Twitter is not just a campaign issue. It's a America issue. What role does the White House or the president have in sort of stopping that, or stopping the spread of that, or sort of intervening in that? Some of that was about campaign misinformation, but it's a wider thing, right?
Yeah, no, and you've heard us talk about this many times from here, about the responsibilities that social media platforms have when it comes to misinformation, disinformation. Don't have anything to read out from here about,
all right, Dan, I got the gist because of time. Brilliant point on your point, though. This is a reporter. Immediately he wants to say misinformation, disinformation. What business are you, what country are you in?
The interview hasn't even happened yet.
Right, but this is their thing. Anything they don't want to hear is misinformation, disinformation. We've just been told this, a president can be president and still can be president now. We've been told that Kamala Harris always was great, and we just didn't know it. Let's put a label on that. Let's put some disinformation label out there. All right, lightning round is next here on Talk Radio 1210.
It's the start of another school year. Get your child or grandchild started off right. Special tutoring and custom instruction is available from METC, the Motivational Educational Tutoring Company. Now is the time to call Kathy Ganna and help get your child out of the gate strong. Call the Motivational Educational Tutoring Company. For over 30 years, METC's tutoring studio, founded by educator Kathy Ganna, has helped people of all ages grow personally and academically. Call Kathy today at 215-493-4200. METC offers motivational SAT prep as well as academic skills and leadership training. Call 215-493-4200. Visit online at METC.com. Call METC's tutoring studio today at 215-493-4200 or email Kathy directly at info@METC.com. Remember, 1210 listeners receive a free 1-hour consultation. Take advantage of this opportunity to help your child get one-on-one help. Call 215-493-4200. That's 215-493-4200.
40 days up to 40 pounds. Say it with me, 40 days up to 40 pounds. Visit njdiet.com or call 855-5NJ-DIET. That's 855-5NJ-DIET. 40 days up to 40 pounds. 40 days up to 40 pounds.
This is Dr. Marianne Ritchie. Tune in to Your Radio Doctor every Saturday afternoon at 5 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT for the latest healthcare news and information, because your health is your wealth. That's Your Radio Doctor, Saturdays at 5.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Yo, Roy is Ford. We know your favorite station is 1210 WPHT.
The time has come for the final test.
We usually call it the lightning round.
Yes, and we're always happy to tell you that Dom's Lightning Round, sponsored by Cherry Hill Volvo. Right now, lease the incredibly stylish and fun-to-drive C40 for 36 months for less than $500 per month for qualified buyers. They always go the extra mile for their customers at Cherry Hill Volvo. All right, hit us with that scene quickly from a mob, thug, criminal film, kind of in honor of one of the co-stars of Scarface passing away. Alan in Hamilton, New Jersey. We were over there yesterday. Alan, good afternoon. What do you have?
Oh, this is the character I have is Tommy Yuta from played by Richard Widmark in the film The Kiss of Death. He confronts a old woman in a wheelchair and he pushes her down the stairs, kills her, and he snickers about it. I thought that was the best.
All right.
I don't know if I agree with that at the end there.
Well, kind of a.
Oh, that was a bit.
That was very good.
Okay.
Joe in Columbus. Joe, what's yours?
Dom, I changed.
Okay.
I don't know if this was something you guys. You remember the scene when Tom Heyer looks at Abe Vigoda and says, when Abe Vigoda says, "Can you spare me one for old times?"
Ah, yes. No
And he
can
says,
do,
"No,
Sally. This
sorry,
is a yes, sir. Sorry,
Sally.
Yeah,
that's cold. That's cold.
And Abe Vigoda was great the way he puffed it out, and then they had to take away the gun, etc. Gary in Newtown. That's a good one. Gary, what's yours?
Hey, Dom, I got to agree with Robert and Leslie real quickly. Leslie, I spent all day Thursday with a gentleman, nice guy, wasn't a professor, or had a PhD, but he was right on the same thing that Leslie said. He is a sampling. John is the sampling. I was in the car for 6 hours with the guy back and forth to New York on Thursday. And then Roberts, to increase on Roberts, we have 10 million people that come in here illegally, and they need fuel, they need housing, they need medical, and they need schooling. So that's in addition to whatever else we're seeing for inflation. But my answer is, for me, is on par with your answer of all time, which is You Can't Handle the Truth. When Al Pacino, in the scene The Untouchables, with teamwork, when he bats the guy over the head, it's one of those scenes that just is chilling. I got chills right now.
I think you mean De Niro. De Niro. Yeah, it's De Niro, Dan, at the banquet. Or he's walking around in the field. You do your own thing. No, you team.
But I get nowhere unless the team wins.
Yeah.
And he just whacks him across the
Oh,
face
the
with
blood
that.
runs down the table, and everybody sits there with a cigar saying, okay, message received.
We
All
get
right.
it.
Dan, some contenders.
I really like John and Wildwood gave us a suggestion of The Thief,
Yeah.
starring Jim
Yeah.
Belushi. Untouchables, a couple of scenes from there, the countdown scene and also the bat one he just heard. I think that deserves to be up there. But also, Leslie and Bryn Mawr with probably the most famous scene, the cheeseburger scene from Pulp Fiction was a really good one. Scene from Heat where De Niro and Pacino shared their first scene from Robin and Salem, kind of out of the box. Then Alan and Hamilton with the funny at the end there, the pushing down the stairs and allegedly being a great scene. A lot of good ones.
Yeah.
So do you like the suggestion of The Thief? Do you like the out of the box of Robert and Ben Salem with the De Niro and Pacino? The cheeseburger scene from Pulp Fiction?
I can go to cheeseburger scene. I got it. The callousness of these guys. Let's go cheeseburger, cheeseburger, cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger, cheeseburger.
Back
Leslie and Bryn Mawr in the
tomorrow,
hat.
Elon Musk and Trump tonight. Richie Olido's next on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Offer not valid in all states or prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Great. Maxed out cards, rent is due, bills are piling up. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
We should do what my brother did. He went to GetCash.com and got $3,000.
With our bad credit?
GetCash.com is different. They're one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000.
I'm sure there's a lot of paperwork.
Nope. My brother said it was fast and easy. He did it right from his phone.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan of up to $5,000 in minutes, and your cash can hit your bank account as soon as the next day. Our lenders have millions of dollars to lend regardless of your credit history.
Great news! I went to GetCash.com and we'll have our money as soon as tomorrow.
Wow, that is fast.
If you need extra cash, go to GetCash.com. That's GetCash.com. GetCash.com.
This is Len Lundy of Lundy Law. Every year, millions are hurt in car accidents. The numbers are overwhelming. But if you're injured in an accident, don't feel overwhelmed. Call Lundy Law. We remove the stress and get you the maximum compensation you deserve. We hope we never meet because of an accident. But if we do, we're here for you. Remember our name, Lundy Law. Your injury lawyers. Call 1-800-LUNDY-LAW or visit LundyLaw.com.
For eligible individuals, 18 and older only. Results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
How are your hearing aids sounding now?
A little tinny.
Okay, 2 seconds.
With Jabra Enhanced Selects Premium Package, better hearing doesn't happen in a doctor's office. It happens at home, all done remotely from initial testing to adjustments.
How are they sounding now?
Fantastic. So much better. You get the same advanced hearing aid technology and professional support you expect from a clinic at a fraction of the cost. And if you have any issues, we'll make adjustments 7 days a week, no charge. Oh, you people are wonderful. Our premium package includes hearing aids, 3 years of follow-up care, plus a 3-year warranty with loss and damage coverage, and a 100-day money-back guarantee.
I hear better than I ever thought possible.
Save $300